Welcome to yet another kick-ass exclusive interview here on Nordrasil Radio. My name is Morfar. This time we are interviewing Method. Method is the second world best guild in the world of Warcraft. The interviewers this time will be Pride and Sien, and all I can say to all of you is sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Joining us now, we've got the second best World of Warcraft raiding guild in the world. We're joined by Method. Guys, would you like to introduce yourselves? From the top, we've got the GM.
Hi guys, I'm Sko, the mighty warrior from Method.
Scott, you sound so enthusiastic about that.
I said what?
Use the ego, man. Where's the ego at? Who else have we got on board? Let's go along. We've got Padme. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Padme, mage for Method.
Going also along, we've got Roger Brown, famous
Hi.
hunter.
Best hunter you right here. It's great to be back. Thanks for having us. Hi everyone.
Hello. We've also got Valiane.
Yes, hi, Valiane, best Shadow Priest in the world. Glad to be here.
You'll find that's a lie because that's my title, but we'll discuss that later date. We've also got Tricky. Hello, Tricky.
Tricky. Paladin tank.
Hey. Oh,
Taking over Sko's work.
and we've also got one more player. Scott, you can do the honours and introduce the last member of the team who's joining us for this interview tonight.
Who is that? Oh yeah, okay. Tegu, the guy from Ice Age, otherwise known as Method the Bears.
Hello there.
Excellent.
The Bears here, hunter from
Yeah,
Methods.
that's good.
Roger Brown's arch rival.
So it already sounds like competition's quite fierce internally, if not externally, guys. I mean, it's been coming up to Firelands, and how did you guys start preparing through that to be ready to be up, running all the way through that? Scott, how did you prepare for Firelands there?
I had to prepare myself mentally and emotionally for the...
Come on, run us down some of the details of how you prepare for the Firelands, and how do you prepare for new content in general there?
Okay, that's strange. I'm hearing you twice. Sorry, I had the stream open in the background. I was hearing you twice.
This guy's so concerned about his own fate listening to us twice.
Sorry,
So
just ask the
Scott,
question again, like, honestly.
Mentally.
The question is how do you guys prepare for new content?
I pass this question on to Roger Brown. Go.
Okay. Well, pretty much before progress starts, we try to cover all our classes. If we have any gaps, we see what we need. We try to get what's missing in the last weeks. Obviously, ready players like geared and stuff. Like something that I think we did, not so many guilds did actually, is during the normal mode week, the first week when Firelands was released, we actually didn't go and just kill everything the first day, because that's really pointless, obviously. We just sat there and practiced with each and every boss, trying to perfect our tactics for hard modes like positions, assignments, everything to be known, so we don't waste any time in the hard mode week. And I think, yeah, not so many guilds did this actually, and it gave us, well, it didn't give us as big of an edge as we wanted, because most of the bosses were just complete walkovers, but yeah, that's I think something that distinguishes Method from other guilds.
Hi for our own Shannox first week.
I think we spent like 2 nights on him even.
Yeah.
And then
Like
heroic
6
mode
hours or
comes
something.
and he's a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Like we spent so much time on perfecting Sanox tactics, only to find out that in the first day, like before we could even go into the instance, 120 US guilds had already killed him hard mode. Yeah.
Yeah,
cool
that
stuff.
really sucked when I saw those sort of stats. That is really, really upsetting. It's just
Well,
one of
yeah,
those things.
we also like try to pump up everyone with some posts like, yeah, focus up, guys. Prepare mentally mostly. To this long hour raids to just push for that world first. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of
You get there eventually.
consumables. Like, actually, this is something that we did different from previous content. That we actually prepared a truckload of consumables from the guild bank, so that we had just enough potions and flasks for everyone. That wasn't like even a concern. So yeah, that was actually pretty nice. We didn't have to waste time with that kind of stuff.
Good, good. I mean, it sounds like you really did a lot more preparation than I shouldn't really say. We did loads of preparation today. To everybody who is listening at the moment, everybody who's starting to tune in, just a quick reminder: we are live on twitch.tv/Nordsil Radio, so you can come and check out some behind-the-scenes footage there. We have got some of Method's best kills currently being streamed from Firelands, and even we got some Bastion of Twilight Tier 11 content as well. If you want to listen to the audio, also check us out on nordsilradio.com. And also check both of us out, facebook.com/Nordsil Radio and facebook.com/Method Wow. I believe that's right, isn't it, guys?
That's Method EU. Like, we tried to get the Method Wow name,
Method
but
EU.
sadly it was taken.
There we go. So we are up on nordsilradio.com and also twitch.tv/Nordsil Radio. So you can listen to everything there. You can join us on the stream. Pride, let's go for some more questions, shall we? I've got a question. I mean, Ragnaros, for my guild, I'm obviously a WoW player as well. Ragnaros normal was such a big hitter for us. It really took us, I'm ashamed to say, a couple of weeks to kill off eventually on normal through a 10-man guild. But obviously you guys had no issues with that. What was it like, the stress and the duress of actually doing Rag hard mode 25? And what was it like when, sadly, Paragon just pipped you to the post? And did you manage to keep your spirits high? Did you still fight on, or did you just kind of give up at that point and take it easy? And that question goes to Scott.
All the questions around here going to me, yeah? It's kind of weird.
We expected GM to have all the answers, man.
I think I was going to pass this question on to Padme. I'm sure he's got something to say for his motivation during Ragnar's work.
To be honest, I really didn't care when they killed it, because I know we couldn't at that point because of our roster and our strategy. So yeah, I know we would have world first if we had the strategy. I'm pretty sure about that. But, so yeah, I really didn't care. No, we're gonna have the world second next resets, because yeah, we were, as you know, the only really hard part about the fight was the phase 3 with the DPS requirement for having 2 meteors. And yeah, when with the Paragon strategy, the AoE thing in phase 2, they were able to go down to 3 healers and have 2 more DPS for the phase 3, things that we couldn't do with our strategy because we didn't have enough AoE. And yeah, then we were missing like 1.5% or something on the reset that Paragon killed it. And yeah, it was good the day after that. So
One of the differences, just on that note through like AoE damage, I noticed one of the differences on your video to Paragon's video, that the phase 2 with the molten seeds, did you guys kill your own?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how did that work as a tactic? What come to that decision as opposed to the AoE situation? Was it generally the lack of AoE?
Basically, we found ourselves pretty much restricted to bringing the classes that we had available to us, and from those classes, 4 of the raid members were arcane mages. So, because arcane mage is obviously a single target DPS, we were lacking on some AoE that we could have maybe bought some better classes if we had them available. But because we had those single target DPSs mainly in the raid, we had some issues when thinking about trying the AoE tactics. So, obviously, any tactic that promoted single target DPS would be easier for us. The disadvantage of that, of course, was that we needed to compensate for it with bringing an extra couple of healers. Because as you might have noticed from Paragon's kill, for example, they brought 3 healers. We ended up bringing 5 healers, which was, as Padman was saying, one of the reasons why we were 1 reset behind in terms of getting the 2 meteors in the last phase. That, as well as the fact that we had no DPS warriors available, which made the execute phase in phase 3 quite difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard a few times now that Paragon has said something along the lines of Method killed the boss two resets after us, so they had 2 resets more gear. Well, that's actually incorrect. It was only one reset more gear. So yeah, I just want to point that out.
I remember that was only one more reset.
Yeah, I've heard that just a few times that was 2.
I wonder if anyone from
let me just get
Paragon
that
is
straight.
actually
It's
listening
1.
to that.
And also, I would like to add that we actually did try this tactic with AoEing the seeds like really early, like 2-3 days into the progress phase 2, but we just found it impossible to pull out with our current roster, so we pretty much dropped it.
And
Yeah, I mean,
before the kill, or a lot before actually, the elementals were actually faster, and they hotfixed them so that they would be slower. So when we tried the AoE strategy, they were actually faster than they are live. That's why we couldn't really kill them, because we needed
that
to
was
give more
that was
setup.
really bad actually. That changed for us, because as you saw, the strategy we used in our kill video, the spreading out strategy, that nerf to the elementals obviously had little impact on us, but it had obviously quite a big bonus for guilds like Paragon that were using the AoE tactic, since the elementals were now slower. I mean, yeah, which was kind of it was kind of another blow for us during progress.
It's like at that point when before the hotfix, Paragon was using the 8 Moonkin to blow them up in time, just to get further in the fight and see what's after that. So yeah, you can see it was a lot more AoE required when they were, and they wouldn't never have the DPS of phase 3 with 8 Moonkin, obviously. So the fix was kind of good for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is maybe an opportune time for you guys, really. Like, you just lacked a couple of classes that could have pipped you to the first kill. What kind of classes are you looking to recruit at the moment? What do you need? Because we could have potential raiders.
Basically, we're just looking to recruit exceptional players of absolutely any class. I mean, it's really the fact that we're looking for exceptional players that meet our requirements rather than like particular classes, because those players can always play like more than one class. So basically, we're trying to promote the fact that the player is able to play their main spec, off spec, so on of the main class, but also at the same time play an alt to an equal or similar standard to that of the main, and obviously the alt will be geared similar as well. So that flexibility of being able to switch across classes. For example, we would never have had those 4 arcane mages in the raid on Ragnaros if we had the option to switch them out for something else. But yeah, we really had some roster issues at the end of Firelands, which basically left us with 25 players for 25 spots. So we really didn't have that kind of class flexibility, because something we definitely have to address for the next tier of progress, but it's definitely something that's ongoing and something that's being looked at right now. So hopefully we can solve that issue, and we've definitely picked up a few exceptional players already and continuing to look to pick up even more. So yeah, if you're an exceptional player, get in contact. Thanks.
Good, because last time I spoke to you guys, I was adamant you were going to get the world first on this kill. I'm not sure if you've heard about a special little bet gambling fee I had at Dreamhack with Paragon, that I bet Vidisha, one of their DPS warriors, 50 quid. Like, you guys would beat Paragon to world number 1. So no pressure, guys, but I kind of own some money at the moment.
So basically what you're saying is Method owes you like 50 quid, right?
Not at all. It's all friendly competition. I'd hope it's friendly competition. Pride, do you have any more questions? You said you were going to introduce some lore questions to Method.
Well, no, I just want to know if here's the deal. I just want to know, you got a top rating guild and things like that. I just want to know if any of you guys actually keep up with the story, or if it's all business to you guys.
In terms of like the stories in World of Warcraft, like before I started playing World of Warcraft, I was playing quite a lot of Warcraft 3. So like the whole Lich King story, like with Arthas and then the Lich King and so on, like I was very familiar with that kind of background. But in regards to like all the old gods and like the different dragons and different like dream realms and stuff, or whatever there's in the game, I must admit, like I haven't really kept up with that kind of lore.
So if you're familiar with it from like the past games, you kind of take more note than any of this newer stuff, like with the old gods and things like that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably explained in like all like the quests and so on, like the text. But I'm sure, like again, that 99.9% of the people just obviously just skip through the quest as well.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, I know you guys, you're in a race and whatnot. You always want to be that world first. So, I mean, I would generally suspect that you guys, at first, when an expansion comes out, I mean, it's just a race to get to the end game, and you want to get that as quickly as possible. But I was thinking, in your free time, when you're not raiding and things like that, if you go back and replay it on an alt character and kind of soak up some of the story elements that are there.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Nah, not really, but I mean, for me, it's more like the instances in dungeon lore that's interesting, like the way Blizzard goes with patches and stuff. Like the War of the Ancients, I was really looking forward to have a War of the Ancients raid, and now it's just going to be a 5-man instance. So, yeah, that kind of lore is interesting. Basically, Cavern of Time lore is interesting, I think, and All Gods is fine, but reading quests is, yeah, not really my thing either.
Really, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but what I catch myself doing sometimes is I'm like randomly curious to find out the backstory of some character, and then I go to WoW Wiki, I check this character, and then I end up, you know, clicking on a link there and just clicking like 10 links back.
It's the wiki syndrome. The wiki syndrome.
Exactly.
You go to look at one thing and you find yourself in somewhere totally different because you click like 7 or 8 links.
Yeah.
Just to find more stuff. Yeah, I do that all the time. It's addicting. Wikis are addicting.
But to answer it more like in a general perspective, yeah, there are people who are interested, I guess, in these kind of things, and not just that. You know, in the free time, some people play more alts. Some people actually like doing achievements. It's kind of a personal thing, though. Obviously, it's.
Yeah, and that brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about. What do you guys do in your free time when you're not raiding, when the guild's not together? I mean, do you guys level alts just for the fun of it? Do you guys do a lot of farming? What do you guys do?
Not WoW.
Yeah, so
pretty much what Padme said for me as well. Yeah, not WoW, League of Legends, real life. Yeah.
StarCraft 2.
League of Legends, isn't that for like terrible people who can't afford to play Hon? Oh, it was the case because Hon's
Hon
free
is
now
now
as well.
Hon's free to play. Don't knock Hon. I'll get angry. And then we'll just have like a League of Legends versus Hon deal, and we're supposed to be talking about WoW.
Which isn't the case. Let's get wow. While we are still live on twitch.tv and such, and also nordselradio.com. Just on nordselradio.com, you guys are not playing WoW. Why didn't you join us for some of the Team Fortress tournaments that we do over at ourselves? Every other Sunday we sometimes run Team Fortress 2 tournament. Guests, friends of the radio station, come and play against the listeners. I mean, do you guys fancy it? Are you guys up for a shoot around?
Personally, I've never played that game. I don't know.
Team Fortress is awesome.
A lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. But usually what happens, I think, with Method is that we like all jump in one game, and then like after a couple of months we go out of it and we go to a new one. It happened in the beginning, yeah, with Hon, then StarCraft 2, now LoL, and yeah, we'll see what's the next one. But that's usually how it goes.
So you guys just kind of bounce around games in your free time?
Yeah, pretty much. That would be a good. That's what Roger Brown said would be a good description. Probably Diablo 3 with the next one, I guess.
Well, I like the fact that you guys kind of stick together even outside of WoW. I like that's really impressive to me that you guys even when you're not playing WoW, you're still playing together and keeping up with that group synergy that I think is important in any competitive format. Having that team cohesion and friendship and things like that working well together. So I think that's cool. I think that's impressive. So kudos to you guys for that.
I mean, do we expect you guys at the next live, I don't know, Dreamhack or Gamescom, do we see you guys doing like a live team effort on League of Legends rather than WoW? Are you going to be competing on that as well?
That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure we have too many level 30s yet in League of Legends, but I'm sure at some point we'll get a rated team together. I mean, yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess.
You should. I think we do need to get you guys to at least Dreamhack, because this summer we did have a blast with Paragon. And we've seen one guild. I mean, it'd be nice to see it through the eyes of the Alliance as well, even though I suppose when you're actually watching it, it's not all that different. But even when it comes down to tactics, like you said with Ragnaros, everybody does a boss in a certain way. What does work for one setup may not always work for another. So it's definitely something interesting. I think we'd be really great to get you guys to a live event, especially with us, and hopefully Twitch will be with us at the next one as well. Maybe Dreamhack Winter, who knows? Questions. Has anybody listening or watching, should I say, in IRC, #Nordso Radio on QuakeNet, has anybody got any questions? If you want to PM them over to me, my name is Sien, or if you want to PM them to Pride, who's under DJ Pridewing, drop us a PM with some questions for Method, and we will answer them the best we can. The question I wanted to ask before that, though, was to you guys. 4.3 is apparently just around the corner. Personally, I think it's going to be just after Christmas. But what kind of speculation do you have for Deathwing?
The release, you mean? Or?
Let's ask Valiant that question.
I think Valiant. Are you here, Valiant?
No,
Valiant went to pick up some food.
Yeah, he should be. He should be back in like 10 minutes.
Should we ask that one too? Scott, you can decide.
Well, are we talking about the release of 4.3 or?
The release, and how do you think the Deathwing encounter's going to play out for us?
Well, I mean, the release is probably either going to be, I guess, this is with no inside information, just I guess, I'd probably say either early December or like mid-January. It's either like before Christmas or after Christmas, and obviously I hope it's after, I would assume.
Yeah.
Don't really fancy doing another Christmas progress tier. That wasn't so enjoyable. But yeah, what do I think about the Deathwing 4.3? Well, obviously from what we've been reading so far on like sites such as MMO Champion and so on, it's probably just going to be the Deathwing fight itself is going to be split into multiple different encounters. So that should definitely be interesting. It's probably the first time that a boss in a raid instance has been encountered more than once. Yeah, I read something actually about the first phase of the fight being that you start at the Dragonrest Temple in Dragonblight or something. Or is this,
Yeah, I've heard that.
Then you fly towards a millstone or something while battling on the back of Deathwing or something. That sounds quite cool, I guess. But yeah, I guess we're talking about multiple different phases of the same boss. Should be quite interesting.
I think it's going to be a good fight. I mean, we're obviously going to see Deathwing in his human form. And I'm expecting something similar to maybe Major Domo in that respect, through different phases of the human form. Then we eventually get to the big be-all, end-all on the dragon's back, which, I don't know, it seems a little bit of a cheat that they're going to have just one boss in whatever they're going to call the new raid. But at the same time, I suppose it's going to be so many different encounters. Hopefully at least 5 versions. I don't know, what do you think? How many different versions should they release?
Wait, actually, is it confirmed that it's only going to be Deathwing that will be facing?
So. It's not confirmed.
Not only.
It's not confirmed, but I mean, there was some speculation that, for example, with 4.3, before we knew it was Deathwing, it could be the War of the Ancients, as we thought, and then that Deathwing was going to be released as like the alien boss, like alone is in dungeon, because like he doesn't have friends, you know, he doesn't need bosses in his dungeon, his Deathwing, so that makes sense in a way, I guess.
No friends.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
It's a moo-moo.
We've got a couple of further questions, guys. We've got a listener question from Zelina. How many times did you wipe on Ragnaros Hardcore? That's a question from Zelina on Twitch TV. How many times do you think you wiped on Ragnaros, roughly? Padme's been counting. So, Padme, how many times do you think you actually wiped on Ragnaros Heroic?
Scott says 300, but I think he's not aware. Like, we had not.
Did you actually count,
our,
Padme?
No, we had not for our
300 plus 200 Dreflin wipes. Thanks to a courtesy of Padme and our method mages.
I think you killed it on our 15th phase 4, wasn't it? With 2 meteors.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So 15th prime.
It's, yeah, not for
That
counted
is
all the logs after, and it's 521 wipes and 1 kill.
That is fairly insane. I've also got a question from Ukela, who's messaged me on IRC. If anybody else wants to send me a question, please do so. #Nordso Radio on QuakeNet. To the guys' method, how happy are you really with the general balance of Firelands hard mode? Because apparently there's still only 50 guilds that have killed Ragnaros Heroic, and there's nearly 2,000 that have done 6 out of 7. I mean, how did you find the balance, and how would you generally class that?
I think the biggest problem is that the other heroics are too hard, and then Ragnaros is, the other are too easy, and Ragnaros might be a bit too hard. But if the other heroics were harder, you wouldn't really notice the difference that much. So the step up.
Do you think that's generally just Ragnaros is such a big step up in difficulty?
Yes, massive.
Yeah, and Ragnaros isn't just too hard. The others are just too easy, to be honest. I mean, because there's 1,500 guilds, 6 out of 7. That's not fun for anyone.
As Roger Brown was saying, on the week of normal modes in Firelands, we were spending our evenings wiping on the normal mode bosses repeatedly, just like making sure everyone understood every single mechanic of the fight and making sure everyone understood exact positioning on each fight. Like, we actually expected the first 6 bosses to be quite challenging. Like, especially the Shanox example, we spent 2 evenings on that boss on normal mode, just repeatedly pulling and repeatedly wiping until we had absolute perfect positioning for everyone. Everyone understood the mechanics 100% perfect. Yeah. And then we just go on the heroic mode Shanox the next week, and the boss basically just dies on our first pull. I mean, honestly, we expected the heroic modes for the first 6 bosses to be much harder than they were. Within the first day of heroic raiding, we'd already cleared 5 out of 7, and Major Domo died the day after, which left us on Ragnaros. So we were at Ragnaros we were at Ragnaros on the second day of raiding heroic, which was really surprising. I was actually expecting Ragnaros to also go down pretty fast, but yeah, the difficulty gap was massive, I would say. It was a bit closer.
It was actually pretty funny because we actually thought that Ragnaros wasn't going to be so hard as well, because we progressed each phase, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, every day we kind of progressed each phase. And then we reached phase 4 and we were like, okay, this is going to just be, an RP phase. We're going to just kill this boss within the first week. And, well, obviously that didn't work out.
Yeah, I don't know how many people actually know this, but we reached phase 4 of the Ragnaros within the first reset, and we, I can't remember, but the enrage timer was a lot shorter initially than it was when we actually killed the boss. So we had to get in contact with some game developer at Blizzard or something, and they have addressed the issue, and moved the enrage timer up 3 minutes to actually make the fight killable.
Wow, so I remember that nerf being put in. Was that you guys who implemented that then?
That was at the same time with the nerf from the movement speed and no, that was the buff from the seeds being more reactive, I think, at the same time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
like getting and up and down, faster.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually, maybe with using 3 healers it might be impossible to make that 15-minute enrage timer, but I don't know, 15 minutes, on the first reset, especially with only having the normal mode gear because we hadn't really cleared anything on heroic, the 15-minute enrage timer was extremely tight. You'd reach phase 4 and then the boss would basically enrage
I think we managed to get him to enrage once. We just kept kiting in phase 4 to actually see if the enrage was 15 minutes.
We also had one enrage in phase 3 once.
Because
No, we never had. We had that 2 seconds when he entered phase 4. He went enrage.
Because we knew the enrage timer was 50 minutes in phase 4, because we obviously wiped at that point, we kept on thinking that there must have been some kind of additional RP element or something in phase 4 that was going to evolve the fight, so we tried multiple different things, which again took quite a long time because you've got to struggle to work through that 50 minutes to actually reach phase 4 doing everything perfectly, and then we're just looking for any element that we could have overlooked the first couple of times we reached phase 4 to actually make the fight look like it was doable. Just basically trying everything to see if there was any if somebody would help us or something. We're gonna
Turns out all these arc druids, insane level guys just sit there and watch you die pretty much. Wasn't really
helping that much. Kind of disappointing when we spoke to the developers that was it the GM who said it wasn't supposed to get back up at 50%?
Yeah.
And then when they fixed it in the next reset, he still popped up at 50%. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's actually kind of strange when you are one of the first to reach the bosses and you're trying to contact GMs or whatnot, try to see what's intended, what's bugged perhaps, and they don't really know, so they give you false info and you're making bad assumptions that this is going to get fixed, and apparently it wasn't. So Yeah.
It was surprising when they told us that their own testing team hadn't even made it to phase 4 when we did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We were told that
phase 4 was so
test team didn't make it to phase 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things about Ragnaros. I mean, I'm still not killed in heroic mode, but not learning normal mode, the first couple of phases were so easy, but it seems just such a long fight to get to the point where you want to practice. I mean, you for yourselves getting to phase 4 was the ultimate part. I mean, did you like feel drained for doing 10 minutes worth of fight before actually getting to that point that you needed to do the practice on?
Yeah, the fight was very draining, actually, I would say. The fact that phase 1 in particular, it's such an easy phase that, like, very basic mechanics, but the fact that it just takes you like 3 minutes or something of doing that phase every single time you wipe, it's it's quite a lot of time.
Yeah, and then the intermission and all that shit as well.
Yeah. It was definitely time consuming and quite draining, I would say. Especially when you're reaching like the last phase and you're not sure as to if the current design is intended or not. You've got multiple different things being said by multiple different game masters that you've contacted. It just makes things all a bit confusing as well.
Let's not disrespect the game masters because they might work against our favour next time.
Yeah, but surprisingly,
I've got another question. Sorry, carry on. I'm interrupting.
Surprisingly, it wasn't as. If you look at Ragnaros progress compared to Balrog, the amount of time we spent on Balrog in one go wasn't as draining as like the regular Ragnaros progress was. Because we spent a lot of hours, like end on Balrog. Guess some people have noticed the kill time.
Well, I didn't get that actually. Sorry, I didn't get that.
So there again.
The kill time on Balrog in the morning. I guess some people noticed that.
Oh.
Guess that was one of our longest days.
5:37 or something?
No, it was like
7.
Server time. It's like 7 a.m.
No.
It's early anyway.
Yeah.
It was
I had another question for you guys. This again comes from somebody in IRC. Remember, guys, if you are listening to us on twitch.tv/Nodestal Radio, IRC, if you're in game and you're speaking to any of myself, even if the method guides are in game, even Pride through Facebook or anything, if you want to ask us questions, ask us the questions. We'll ask the guys and we'll get a response and a shout out there for you. As I was saying, question coming from Mr. Baldwick, one of our regulars on Nodestal Radio. He's asking, how do you guys feel about the new raid finder making raids, well, pug friendly, if you like? I mean, do you think that will take away from the end game? Do you reckon more players will just be more determined to take a break, if you like, just play casual? I mean, I can't see you doing too much against you guys. Obviously, you've got a lot more drive, but overall for the raiding game, how do you think that's going to play out for the general course of raiding?
It kind of depends on how it's going to work, because if you can't just invite people from other servers to a raid, that you actually have to do a completely random group. I don't think it's going to be used that much, but if you can actually pick people from certain servers, and invite them, like you can list yourself in the current one and you can invite people. If you can do that at the Cross Realm, it would be a perfect tool to like test recruits before they transfer, or like a group of friends.
So it's probably the biggest impact. Otherwise, it's not really going to impact many, I think.
This said they will maybe try to make it to make like real ID raids, but it's not confirmed yet. So.
They also said that the raid finder won't like share lockouts with the normal raids, so whatever you can queue for the random raid finder, and whatever clear you had before is just gonna get wiped out. And if that's gonna make you access more gear faster, obviously we're gonna be able to use it the first week of normal modes or whatever. But I don't know. Depends a lot on the implementation.
I think that would be retarded. Kind of faction change things. Like, you do 10 raid finder raid during a week and you have more normal gear.
Yeah, it's probably not going to affect heroic modes. I mean, you're probably not going to be able to queue up for heroic Firelands through the random raid finder. But rather normal mode only, or maybe an easy mode even. I don't know what they're planning, because it looks like it's gonna be easy to raid as well.
I don't know though, if they do put the real ID, it will kind of make transferring servers kind of, not needed to raid with people. Like it will kind of, they will actually be kind of hurting themselves with this, sort of. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that will go through, but we'll see.
There's going to be restrictions, but yeah.
We've got a couple more questions popping up at the moment. Again from IRC, we've got so many people asking questions in IRC. Guys, Twitch TV guys as well, everyone who's listening over there, Twitch TV. No, it is twitch.tv Nordisol Radio, isn't it?
Yep.
Ask some questions in the chat channel there and we'll get them passed forward. The next question is coming from Impzor in our IRC. Do you have any tips for players who want to raid in a hardcore guild? And what would you need to do to be a better player?
Okay. Yeah, I'll just say this out front. I think that 50% of being a great gamer is having a great UI and keybinds that are comfortable for you. Yeah, you can laugh on it, but as it is right now with the mechanics of the bosses, you really need to have something that shows you whatever you need to know. And I think, yeah, that is a huge part that some people don't do it.
Don't play with the mouse, play with big wigs.
You should all go download Roger Brown's UI on our site.
I'm not laughing at you guys because I fully agree with you on that. And you've got to have a decent UI with everything heads up to see everything that's going on around you so you can fully see timers. And I just don't understand people who click. How can you click when you have so many keys to press? Why would you do that? Maybe that's just me.
The main thing of clicking is that it removes your focus. You have to focus on where your keys are and clicking them, so you lose a lot of focus on the actual encounter.
Yeah, I agree.
That's like only one aspect of, I'm sorry to interrupt, that's only like one aspect of how to become a great player also. Like arranging your UI, finding what fits you better to increase your performance, but not only that, people should always try to like maximize their characters, like right professions, trying to know if they have their gear fixed up for maximizing it and all that stuff, like reading up on theory crafting, because patches come out, stuff gets changed, the character gets played in a different way, and if you don't keep up with the changes of the game, you might just get lost in the transition. And it's also part of how to improve your game, to be honest.
You need to want to be the best to improve.
Yeah, exactly. Drive to succeed.
No.
And also I think the more free time you have, the higher you can aim guild-wise. Like for example, if you can play 24/7 and you have no real-life restrictions, you can aim for those top 10 guilds eventually. But if you, if you have stuff going on in your real life, you can't really commit 100% to the game. When progress comes out, you can't be there from the morning till the night, then you can't expect to reach the top. Of course, you will be able to reach a decent level, but not top guilds, pretty much.
Oh, well, a top guild has no use of a really good player who can't play. I mean, you need to both be available and be really good.
I understand. So the last question, and we're going to head into a break very shortly. The question before we head into a break, again from somebody on IRC, is can you guys give a shout out to your YouTube channel? Nice easy question so people can go click on subscribe there at that point.
That's just cool.
It should just be youtube.com/methodwar, I think. Let me just double check.
It is.
Yeah, it is. So just
nice and easy.
/methodwar. Yeah.
youtube.com/method. Wow, so we're going to take a break. If you're watching on Twitch TV, there's going to be a series of adverts. Don't worry, don't go anywhere. We will be back. The adverts make sure we can keep bringing you all these awesome interviews always on Nordisol Radio. Remember, if you do want to join us in chat, we are on #QuakeNet, or the QuakeNet servers in #Nordisol Radio. Remember, you can check us all out on nordselradio.com, facebook.com/nordselradio, and also facebook.com/methodeu, right?
Yeah.
Is that right, guys?
Yeah.
Method EU at Facebook. Adverts coming up on Twitch TV any moment now. Remember, if you do want to click them, support us, or even if you want to visit any of our websites, you want to support us all the way to get people to Dreamhack so we can help you at live events, bring all you the coverage from games that you want. Don't hesitate to donate to us. Everything is appreciated. If you want to even buy some merchandise, we've got Nordstrom Radio t-shirts. And I think that we should have a specially made Roger Brown t-shirt anyway. We're going to hit some breaks now, guys. We're going to have a 10-minute interval because I need a drink because my mouth is dry. I think everybody else needs to use the bathroom. So coming up next, we've got DG Tiesto and Traffic. This is coming up now. So we're still live on Twitch TV, guys. Behind the scenes.
Are we? What is there? There's no like real behind the scenes. Like it's just us talking.
Of course there is. There's also we've been to the fridge and everyone's gathered a beer and such.
But I have not been to the fridge. I've sat here the entire time. Like that's how boss I am.
You're not even taking the obligation raid break to go get pizza and beer.
No, I don't have any pizza, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Why would I drink beer at 11 o'clock in the morning?
Why would you not drink beer at 11 o'clock in the morning, Pride?
I guess I'm just not American enough.
You're just not British
to drink beer at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Come on, Scott starts drinking vodka and whiskey at 7 a.m., right, Scott? That's what you do in Scotland?
Do we? I don't know about
I don't know.
vodka,
I'm asking
but maybe the whiskey, yeah.
Unofficial question. Pride, I see you had some questions ready for the guys, yeah?
Yeah, I've been gathering questions in my silence.
So sorry, just to say this. Are you gonna just replay the videos? Because I think this is the last one, or are you?
Yeah.
They've been replaying already. This video, I've seen this video on the stream before.
Yeah, it's a loop.
Okay. I'm just saying because there are more kills, but I don't know if they will be so interesting. Oh, okay, so it's done now. Never mind that.
Sinestra, Nefarian, and Rag, I think.
Bye.
Pride, kick off with your questions, man.
Are we ready to go? Are we back on?
We are back on the air at NordSilRadio.com, and we're also live on Twitch TV as well. Twitch TV.
I love Twitch
Radio.
Twitch TV is amazing. All right, let's have a discussion. Let's talk one-on-one, mono e however many of you there are, which is apparently a lot. I've never interviewed a group this big, so this is new to me. So let's get things started. We've got a question from Huntress, and I actually pulled this one straight out of IRC. Was PM to me. It says, "What was the hardest boss that you ever killed? Like in all of Rading, what was the hardest boss that you have ever downed?"
I would definitely say that Ragnaros is probably up there, just because of the length of the fights. Obviously, because the fight is so long, there's plenty of opportunities to actually make a mistake. What other bosses could we consider exceptionally hard?
Well, I've been seeing the threads, about what is the hardest boss flying on MMO Champion or whatever, and they're trying to say that Lich King was the hardest one. I think that just because of the nature of the fight of Ragnaros being that the last phase was the hardest one, and comparing it to Lich King where it was the second phase which was the hardest one, if you don't consider that there was a limited attempt, I think that Lich King was a much simpler, easier fight, just because you didn't have to waste 15 minutes to get to the real part, pretty much.
Last phase in Lich King was really easy, actually. I mean, still had to do the strategy and stuff, but once you got there, you died.
And just my little side question with this would be, like, with every new expansion and every new patch, do you think that bosses get harder in terms of like scaling? Let's say you start out right there at the beginning of this expansion, and you've got to go, farm your heroics for your gear so that you can raid, right? Do you think that Blizzard does a really good job of making it sequentially more difficult, or do you think that there's sometimes they kind of drop the ball and some bosses are just ridiculously easy? I think you kind of touched on this a little bit with heroic Firelands and whatnot, where the first 5 heroics were kind of easy for you guys, and then it's like boom right there, or the first 6, and then boom when you hit Ragnaros, it's just like a brick wall. Do you think that that's good, or do you think that that's bad?
I think that's quite bad. Like, I think the first 6 bosses in Firelands were easier than some of the bosses we encountered in Tier 11. But I think the much of the difficulty in Tier 11 was related to the fact that we had access to limited gear because it was the progress tier that was just after leveling. So, I'm assuming that obviously Blizzard intended us to have, like, for example, full 359 gear for the heroics on Tier 11, which would quite hard to come by because most of our raid was in pretty much 333s or 346 from just doing 5-man and 5-man heroics. So the big jump up in difficulty for Tier 11 was mostly probably because we lacked some gear. Whereas when Firelands came around, obviously we had plenty of time to farm, so the gear level difference was much smaller. Like, the jump up in gear level between the new expansion is much greater than the jump up in gear level between a new raid dungeon. Like, just within the same expansion, it was like a jump up of like 6 item levels or something for the normal mode, so even -1 for some of the loot from, like, for example, Sinestra and stuff. But the first 6 bosses in Firelands I would consider easier than some of the bosses we encountered in Tier 11, that's for sure. So it was really only Ragnaros that stood out in Firelands as being the sequentially more difficult boss, I would say.
Right on. And as like a counter to the what's the hardest boss you've ever faced, Imsar actually wants to know, what is your favorite boss you've ever, like, what's your favorite raid instance and raid boss? They don't have to necessarily be the same. Oh, fire! I hear fire alarm.
Yes. What's the fire?
Good answer, Valian. Yes.
Yes.
So what is your favorite raid instance? Just kind of go across the board. What, individual opinion on your favorite raid instance?
I really liked Sunwell, and, well, yeah. Sunwell is my number 1, and Black Temple is probably number 2.
Yeah. Scott, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think back about all the raid instances that I've been in, like, for the last 5 or 6 years or whatever since playing World of Warcraft. I mean, in terms of some of the more recent raid instances, I definitely think just the overall feel of Firelands, like, regardless of the bosses, I quite like the open feel of Firelands. I would actually say that Firelands, the raid instance itself, is one of my more favorite instances. In terms of bosses, I don't know why, but I really like the Omnitron defense system in Tier 11. I find that boss to be quite varied, not so repetitive every single week, even when farming it. So Firelands and Omnitron defense system for the most recent bosses get my thumbs up, but also probably bosses like Mamayon from Uldo, that was quite a cool boss. A couple of cool bosses in Sunwell as well, yeah.
Right on.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Yeah, just I think the instance where I had the most fun would be AQ40 back in vanilla, but I would agree that Firelands is, except for the difficulty of the first bosses, like, overall I think they've thought it out pretty well. Like, it doesn't feel like a big grind now that it's on farm. That's a big plus in my eyes.
Yeah, it's really quick to clear.
No one wants to raid 5 hours on things that he has already killed. And yeah, for favorite boss, like, lately I would say Magma, just because of the tactic that we used. It was really interesting for me.
Yeah.
But also Ascendant Council was just a really tight fight, a really, I think, very well tuned, etc. So yeah, those two.
Right on. And Trek, what's your opinion?
Our favorite instance is probably hands down Uldor. I don't know what was so successful with that instance, but I just really loved it. And the fight there, I think Mimron has to be one of my favorites as well. But yeah, it's like the others say, is some fights that's pretty nice in tier 11 and tier 12 as well. Oh, well, Ragnaros is pretty nice, but yeah, I don't know.
And Tiago?
Yeah, I happen to have a different choice from the guys. My favorite instance was Nax Shaman, level 60.
The original Nax.
The original Nax, yeah. And my favorite boss was Sien from AQ40.
Right on, right on. And our last little friend here, what do you think?
I think overall, like for the new content, like others, Firelands is pretty cool, and like for the older content, as an instance, I really like Serpent Shrine Cavern, was really great instance, and Vash was a really cool encounter, and I think one of the funniest encounter I've done was Aegon in Nax 40. Like, you always do 50% of the boss in one phase with 40 people alive, and then first dance, you're 15 people left, and you kill the boss. That was really fun, and always the same every week. So yeah.
Must admit, I have pretty fond memories of Hagen and Naxxraman's fight at level 60 as well.
If I may just step in, I forgot to mention something. It's not really related to the raid instance, but something I feel that Blizzard have not accomplished to introduce into the game again since vanilla was the feeling that in the server, the guild competition for like outdoor bosses. Like the green dragons back in vanilla, where people used to stay up till like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. whenever the dragons would spawn, and it would be just like one big challenge to see who would get the boss first, and I kind of miss that, to be honest.
I would actually like to see them re-implement that as well. I think that would make for some great Twitch TV live action.
Level 60 Paladin solo Kazakh. Yo, reckoning.
Reckoning bomb.
And real quick, just another follow-up question to that. What is the easiest boss that you've ever faced?
Probably Shanak's heroic.
Yeah, Shannock.
Yeah,
Probably ICC gunship. Free loot.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat, and it just seems like everyone is saying Shanix and ICC gunship.
Shannox was really the first time when you do an encounter, you're thinking, wow, normal mode is harder than that, really. So, yeah.
Right on. All right, let's move on to the next question. This is kind of... I like this question. It's from Mega Yoshi, and he asks, do you know why there are so many Horde guilds versus Alliance guilds across all the servers when it comes to raid progression? And do you feel the racial abilities are game changers?
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh, no, not that question. See ya.
Next.
Valiant, you asked that, I know.
Yeah, Valiant.
We actually have a 37-page thread on our forums right now discussing this issue. So
Only yo.
it's a topic that we've covered quite a lot recently. Yeah.
All right. Well, can you just let's do this then? Can you perhaps sum up this 37-page forum topic into like a 2-minute rant, or would that be impossible?
Yeah.
Lots of hate.
It
Basically,
depends.
some people want to go hard, some people want to stay Alliance,
It depends.
some people doesn't want to
classes.
go if we change, etc.
It's not really that. It's more the fact that we're finding it hard to try and place a value on the Worgen sprint. Basically, that's the main thing. Like with the Horde racials, it's DPS racials that are able to stand still and hit a boss like Patrick, for example. It's kind of easy to calculate like what the gain of those racials is in terms of DPS. But when you come up against a racial like Worgen sprint, which is very situational, which gives you movement speed that's useful obviously in certain situations and progress, it's obviously very hard to put a value on that sprint. So basically we've been doing some analysis class by class and so on to try and just establish exactly what the scales are in terms of benefits and losses, basically.
But end result, we don't really think that the horde ratios are that dominant. I mean, just because you're a horde guild doesn't mean you're gonna get really, really fast kills.
I mean,
Might help.
we can agree that if you're standing still, like on a boss like Patchwork, being a horde raid is obviously an advantage in terms of DPS. But with new progress content becoming increasingly about mobility, and yeah, it's definitely one of the factors they use to make fights harder. Obviously, is the movement factor, but also at the same time, one of the factors is obviously the requirement of high DPS. So it's kind of like trying to predict what is going to be the best choice in the next tier of progress, but at the same time, that's obviously quite difficult, not knowing any of the fights and so on. But yeah, it's about trying to put a value on Worgen Sprint, basically.
Yeah, but just because you're one or the other doesn't mean that if you're a top 100 guild in the right faction, doesn't mean you're gonna get a top 10 kill. I mean, it's very small either way, the difference.
Yeah, having said all these things, it would be actually nice, finally, to Blizzard to just make racials a bit more cosmetic things or like non-important things, kind of like the Night Elf running 50% faster when they're ghosts, stuff like that, instead of just flat-out DPS cooldown. Okay, so yeah.
Do agree.
5% DPS on beasts, yo.
Like, for example, one of the things that's been brought up recently is the fact that obviously in tier 12 we didn't really find that many situations where Worgen Sprint was useful. For example, the tightest thing on tier 12 progress was the fact, like the Ragnaros phase 3, where it's all about meeting the DPS requirements to have 2 meteors instead of 4 meteors, which is all about doing a certain amount of DPS within a certain amount of time. So, I mean, in terms of Firelands, it would probably be advantageous to be Horde, but yeah. It's all about trying to put that value on Worgen Sprint, and yeah, we've got that massive thread going on our forums right now where we're discussing this issue, so yeah.
Well, and this brings up, like I said, another one of my personal questions is why Alliance? Was it just coincidence that you all happened to be Alliance, or did any of you come from the Horde to join this particular guild? I mean, why Alliance over Horde?
Well, when I created this guild like 6 years ago or whatever, it was just the fact that we were Alliance. I was actually playing Horde very briefly at the start of the game on another server, and then some real-life friends wanted to switch server and switch faction as well, just for a change of scenery, and it kind of just started from there, obviously, and it's always just kept as Alliance.
Right on.
Like, that's basically it. I mean, there wasn't really any like pre-planning or anything. It was just the fact that when I created the guild, it was just that I was playing with a few real-life friends on Alliance side, pretty much.
So that's just how the chips fell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and we've had some Horde, people coming in faction changing, obviously, to join the guild. Because
All right. And this question is again from Mr. Baldwick, who's a regular in the IRC. He wants to know what your opinions are on the apparent, and I'm going to say apparent because I'm not on one side or the other, but the apparent deal that raids are going quote-unquote pug-friendly.
I think it only applies to normal modes anyway, so...
Normal modes in Hork Shanox, yeah.
They're not going
I think people who say that never done any hard mode boss in tier 11 nor tier 12.
Yeah.
Besides Shanox.
I don't really, yeah, I mean, like Trek said, I'm pretty sure that's referring mostly only to normal modes or very easy Hork modes. Like, I can't even predict when, for example, a pug raid group is going to be able to manage like some of the harder bosses such as Ragnaros Hork. I mean, it's not going to be within this expansion at least. It would be after they were probably above the level of the raid instance.
Just on that note, I mean, I've got further questions that I've been gathering a few while I've been fairly quiet. Obviously, we're on Twitch TV as well. We've got a lot of listeners out there, and we've got a few people asking, what are your conditions of trial for actually playing a method? And can I ask, Let's ask Roger Brown, because I know Roger Brown was a very special trial at Method, where we've discussed this before. And how was it being a trialist at Method for you, Roger Brown?
Actually, I think if people come in this guild from quite a low-level guild, like they make a big jump, it's actually kind of a shock. For example, if you are a good player and you're always topping the meter on your little guild there with your friends, and then you're just making this huge step, and suddenly you can't even see yourself on the damage meter. You need to scroll down. Yeah, it's a big change, and you need to really get serious about it and try to improve as fast as possible in order to impress us. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty hard to qualify, let's say, with our standards right now to become a member.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of trials that actually come here. They don't impress us. You know, a bad first impression is actually really like you need to really work hard to change that, and not so many make it out of the trial. You know, because we need to.
Yeah, the thing is, we really feel as if we have some exceptional players at the moment. Like we have 25 players that we don't really feel as if we're carrying anyone. We feel like confident and happy with who we have in the raid. So to play alongside those players, you really need to be quite competent yourself.
Yeah, and I know that we touched on this earlier in the interview, but just for the whole case of everybody listening on Twitch TV, just while we are at that point, guys, if you guys on Twitch want to ask us a question, click on our stream, join our chat, and you can ask some questions to myself. I'm Sien, and also Pride, and also Morpho is hosting this stream. Will give us some questions over for the guys at Method. Just carrying on with the trial conversation, guys.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any specific classes that you're looking for. Is that true, or are they really preferred classes that you would like?
Right now, I think there isn't any class that we really are liking. It's just as Scott said earlier, that we're just looking for exceptional players that one way or another with the alts, you know, everyone is supposed to have a main alt pretty much that he can play in the same level as his main character. One way or another, we will make it so that the best, you know, the best skilled players will be in the guild. So that's what we're looking for, just exceptional players that can play an alt, and somehow we'll manage to sort it out pretty much.
Okay. Just in terms of when it does come, I mean, this is something for trials, which I hope every trial to every guild always looks at, is people asking, how can you generally really improve your performance? I mean, what methods do you take, excuse the pun there, what methods do you take to being the best players in the world besides just refining your user interface and keybinds? Are there any other things that you do regularly to really keep yourselves on top of the game?
I think just competition, to be honest, between the classes is really important. We try to keep that up so that you're always feeling the pressure from the other guy. You're always trying to beat him, and that's a really good thing. Having said that, there are some extra perks, as we said, that can help you, like being good at League of Legends. It's a great perk to have if you're gonna join Method.
Just on that, the spirit of competition within your guild, guys. Who is the top DPS? Is it Deefy? Is it Padme? Or is it Roger Brown? Who is the
Who's
best?
Deefy?
Come on.
Yeah. Who's Deefy?
It's
Is he
away.
one of your hunters?
No, he's insane.
Roger Brown always asked me about Deefy, and he says to mention him, or was it just wait? I can't remember.
Certainly not.
What do you guys have always told me about this other hunter?
I think you're referring to some hunter that's in another guild known as Insidia, but
Really? God, I've really got the wrong end of the stick on this one, haven't I? So, okay, question goes out again. Let's forget that. Who is the top DPS player in your guild, guys? Be honest. We know playing DPS, you want to be the best. Who is it?
It's probably going to be Artsy now that he has the legendary stuff, but once I get mine, I will be.
It's just, I mean, you can't say things like that. I mean, it just depends of everything, buff, who get tricks, who get blah blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and it depends
Put it
on
this
the
way, it
encounter
definitely
as well.
isn't on mages.
Hey,
Hey, whoa.
what's wrong
Now,
with that?
here's my question. This is a super serious question, and I think that the answer to this question will really reflect on whether I actually like you guys or whether you're just another raiding guild. Gnomes. Do you have any gnomes in the guild that play regularly?
We actually do.
Lot of
Sadly.
I love you. That's it. You're the best raiding guild in the world. You have gnomes, and that's that.
Gnomes
That's
is
where
the
it's at.
best class for alliance, race for mage.
But still, you're not known.
Weren't you Worgen, Padme?
No, the
I
sprint
agree.
is. I listen to
I
Scott.
agree. I play a gnome mage, so I'm so on the gnome mage deal. Like I love it.
We have one.
Well,
Two
I'm
gnome
playing
mages and one
No.
gnome priest.
Gnomes.
Yeah.
Gnomes are good. Gnomes
Free
are
gnome
awesome.
mage. Yeah, in the red.
Gnomes are amazing.
Gnomes are good because you can hide your mistakes because no one can see you.
That's
exactly.
You see, that's why
It's
people think
Shaman
I'm so
Interactive,
much
that's
better
the
than I am.
and you can see when they jump off Ragnaros' platform anyway. They're not small enough.
What about your
Why did you
patient
have to
rage
place the
face?
camera like that, Roger Brown? He couldn't hide himself from you.
I knew where I was gonna die.
Yeah, okay, but I don't know what's the worst, like jumping off, like I don't know if it was intentionally, but disengaging off the edge, I don't know about that.
Who does that? Really? Who does that?
Yeah, you
Guys, we're getting carried away. I've got a question from Mega Yoshi again on Twitch TV. Just reminds everybody on Twitch TV, if you do want to ask us questions, click on our stream, come to our channel, enter chat and join in with us. As we've got loads of people chatting away at the moment about different things. And remember, please do subscribe to us as well. And if you want to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Nordsil Radio, and for Method themselves, facebook.com/MethodEU. The question is, again, from Mega Yoshi, is do you think that WoW really went in the right direction of adding heroic modes? Because some people just really seem to be burnt out, that they feel it's the same boss with one or two changes. I mean, do you think that was a good change for hard modes as opposed to just a normal mode?
I
Yeah.
think people are always complaining. Before they were complaining before they couldn't, because they couldn't see the boss. Now they can see the boss in normal mode, and they should be happy with that. And now they're saying, yeah, heroic mode are just blah blah blah, but heroic mode are not for them, you know. Heroic mode were installed, so hardcore guild has something to do, and normal content everybody can see the boss and check it. That's the main thing. So yeah, I think they succeeded in what they wanted to do.
The alternative would be...
personally...
Yes,
Sorry. I was going to say, I personally think that the hard mode was a really, really good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys actually own the claim to fame of the world's first actual hard mode of South Aryan 10. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
South Aryan 3 Jake's 10 man, the official world first ever hard mode encounter. I think that definitely goes without saying. Pride, you had something to say, man.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna head to a break right now. It's gonna be about a 3-minute break. For those on here on Twitch TV, we're gonna get a little bit of commercial action going on. Don't worry, it helps us here at NordicilRadio.com and all that good stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes. And remember, if you want to ask us some questions, you can go to www.NordicilRadio.com. Click on the chat button right up there at the top. Java applet's gonna load. You can PM myself or Sien to get your questions in right offhand, and we'll make sure that we get those answered for you. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oh, we're back live on NordicilRadio.com. We're also live on twitch.tv/NordicilRadio. To everybody who is out there listening at the moment, if you do want to join in with a phone, click on our stream on the main page of Twitch TV. If you've done that already, join into chat, you can ask us any questions. We are joined tonight by Method, the world's #2 World of Warcraft raiding guild, #1 alliance in the world, and we've also got Pride from OMFG Kata. How's it going, Pride?
I'm doing really well.
Still with us. So we've decided that we've been talking about WoW for a long time now. We've got some fun questions coming up, and just to everybody in Method at the moment, I don't know why somebody called Zeus in IRC PM with this question. If you could meet anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would you prefer to meet? And let's start with Scott for that question.
Do you have to start with me for that one? Again. Tracky, go.
I have no idea.
It's a tough question, actually.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anybody, dead or alive?
I would say Kungan, but I've already met him, so.
Ghost crawler, preferably dead.
Well, he fixed the end range.
Anybody else?
I'd probably
Do
say
you know who I'd like to meet?
D9 from Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah, that's actually a good one.
Well, if you guys go to Dreamhack, I can get you guys together.
Okay, I'm going to Dreamhack.
I'm pretty sure there's.
Go, Padme.
I'm
Parting
pretty sure
with-
there's quite some people going to Dreamhack this winter actually from Method.
Parting with Day 9 is like dream come true.
Well, I can't say he'll invite you to a party, but I can get you in his general vicinity.
Okay.
But you'll be fighting with many other fans to get his attention.
It's Roger Brown, man.
It's Roger.
Roger Brown, don't you know who
Just
he is?
flip the table.
Just stand at the table and you'll
Don't
see.
leave.
That
Hey.
sort of
Probably, you know, like
level.
when someone in the movies walks and like it's just like a circle around him, everyone's like, you know, opening up space for him to move. Something like that.
Yeah.
Just going on with the DreamHack sort of level. Do you know of any? Well, I don't know if you guys are in relationships or not, but at DreamHack this year, I got into a very silly situation where I ended up having a quick kiss live on the internet with Xenofix from Paragon, and people are gonna kill me for that. But are there any girl gamers you guys would like to meet?
I'll leave this question for Roger Brown, actually. It's a good one for him.
And I'll pass it on right to the bears.
Valian, you were saying?
I don't know. Padme was saying something.
Yeah, playing a tossing question.
Yeah.
Tricky? Last one.
So yeah, you're asking if there's any girl gamer we would like to meet.
Are there any girl gamers from any big guilds that you guys would like to hook up with?
I already hooked up with a girl in World of Warcraft, actually. She used to play in Envy, which is the current world rank number 3 guild at the moment. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, same, but
That's 1-0 to Scott. Roger
for
Brown,
us-
you're next.
Score. On to Roger Brown. I'm sure he's got many stories to tell of fangirls.
stalkers.
Well, we did actually meet one internet girl in the guild meeting that we did, but yeah, don't know really. I'll just let this slide.
You guys
Honestly,
are so
there doesn't really seem to be that many girls playing in top guilds,
Yeah.
so I mean, in regards to your question, I mean, you get the odd whispers every now and then, and the odd pictures every now and then, but I mean, I'm sure that most of these are probably guys, so. But
For
yeah.
Artie and some friends of mine, I'd say Zoe, but that's it.
You're a Natex for so. For sure.
I think Pride had a question from Jesse Cox himself. Pride, fire away.
From the other half of OMFG Cata. Questions for the crew. how do you feel about WoW's future in a market with 2 really big MMOs coming out? Having may or may not played Knights of the Old or Star Wars: The Old Republic and Guild Wars 2, I can say while I love WoW, it's starting to show its age. What would or could Blizz do to keep players interested?
I'm just going to talk quickly about the Old Republic, because I'm following it. It's quite, yeah. You know my nickname, it's Padme, so there's a reason for that. And when I saw the game...
Somebody wants to be a princess.
Good point, actually. I never actually made that connection before.
Yeah, actually, same.
I never made that connection before, Padme. Please, tell me more.
I was 12, I was just so Attack of the Clones, and Natalie Portman was so cute, so yeah, Padme. But yeah, I love Star Wars. I was like 6 or something, so I'm following that game a lot since the beginning. And at the beginning, it was really like not beautiful and kind of slow and shit. And now they showed some real new stuff, new red content, etc. And it's starting to look really good, way better than what they showed. And the enthusiasm of the people around it, the videos at Gamescom, they were like 6 to 7 hours just to play the game, to test like 15 minutes of the game.
Wow.
And yeah, this one is probably not going to be a WoW killer, but it's definitely going to be a good MMO, I think. And if it's not, it's going to be good Knight of the Old Republic 3, so it's going to be good anyway.
Padme, is your gnome... You do play a gnome, don't you?
No,
Just walking.
I'm a dog.
I was going to say...
A dog.
I was going to say, if you were a gnome, are you like Princess Leia? Do you have like the curly pigtails on your gnome? But that question's now irrelevant. I've got a question from Ukela, who's in IRC. Remember, if you don't want to give us questions in IRC, PM me or Pride, and also ask us questions through Twitch TV as well. But this question is an odd one, really. Have you guys heard of K-pop?
Yeah.
What is your favorite
K-pop
K-pop band?
K-pop is in like Korean pop?
Yes.
Yes, Korean pop, Pride.
Or these are videos that I see popping up on our forums every now and then.
To anyone.
What about Rainbow?
Yeah, Rainbow is cool as well. But I basically have everything. Besides,
commercial.
yeah. I listen a lot to K-pop. Don't think the other does, but yeah.
I think you're like the only one. I just know
Only
it pretty much
SSU nerds listen to this.
from streams of some StarCraft 2 players. That's where I know it from. Don't really download it and stuff.
They go viral on YouTube sometimes. That's the only times I watch them.
I know the feeling. They're terrible videos, but they are quite fun because they're so bad at the same time. Pride, you had another question.
I did not have another question. I'm currently typing something. So
That's no good at all, man. No good at all.
hey, I am being diplomatic here for a second. All right, this is what I do. So there, I'm finished now. I'm finished now. I'm finished. I can grab one. Let me load up IRC real quick. All right, we've got one. How is we've already answered that one. Never mind. I lied. We didn't have that one. Does Method have any bronies? If you guys know what a brony is. Do you guys know what a brony is?
Black colored people?
Yeah.
No, bronies are people who watch that.
Such a
Hold on. This is. Listen. This is a serious question. All right, this is a serious question. This is super serious. This is something that the fans are like hardcore wanting to know, and you guys are just like laughing it off. Like that's totally not cool. This is a serious question. Do you have any bronies in the clan or in the guild?
Sorry, exactly. Bronies being what?
Yeah, I just Googled
have you ever?
it now.
All right, there's a television show. It's called My Little Pony, right? And apparently, men,
Magic. Yeah.
grown men who watch this show are called bronies, right? So, And it's like this big 4chan thing, which, you know, I don't think it's any secret. I'm not a 4chaner at all. Like, I've been there like twice maybe in my lifetime. But it's a big 4chan deal where, like, you know, if you're a brony, you're apparently awesome and cool and all that stuff. I don't really get it, but apparently, I mean, I've got like 7 PMs about it. So they want to know if you guys have any bronies in the clan so they can bro hoof you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone's come out of the closet yet with that, though.
Yeah, even if it is.
No one talked about it.
I don't know.
I only know it from the parody they did with the StarCraft 2 trailer with the male pony thing, but that's it.
I think Padme's a secret brony.
I apologize.
Am I right?
That's just like the first. I opened up IRC in the first thing, and I just read like the first question mark, and I read what was before the question mark, and it happened to be, does Method have any bronies? We just had to roll with it. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it happens.
We will provide with contact info for Padme, whoever is interested to be a brony friend with you.
But on a serious end, I do have a pretty serious question here that just got PM'd to me by NSAL. Do you think shared raid locks are good or bad?
Between 10 and 25.
Yeah, I'm going to assume so, yes.
Yeah, it gives us less to do. If we had both 10 and 25, we would have to go both, and that would just be time consuming. So I'd have to say, yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, thank God, actually.
Yeah, that's really like... I couldn't imagine now doing, for example, tier 11 4 times or something. That would just be...
No, it's like...
That would be a punishment for sure.
It's very distinguished farming guilds, so...
I had a question that pops up on Twitch TV, actually. Say Scott was caught botting overnight and gets banned by Blizzard. This is not true or anything. I'm not trying to imply anything. But let's say Scott suddenly quit the game. Let's say Scott suddenly quits or gets his account banned for whatever reason. You guys need a new tank. Who would you go and poach from any other guild? Or I suppose you could say, are there any other players that you really respect in other guilds that you'd like to poach and bring into your own? Apart from me, obviously. Any other players that you'd really like to take over? Any
from
players
other
that
guilds?
you'd prefer to join your guild from another guild?
I don't know. Does the other guilds have useful tanks that could ever want to switch? I mean...
Yeah, it's kind of...
Do the other guilds have good tanks, or...? Jokes aside, I mean, if that happened, we'd probably have... we'd probably just have someone like Roger Brown, our hero, be willing to a protection warrior and picking up the slack, I guess.
Yeah, no, if we needed a tank in a second, it would definitely be someone revolving to tank. So...
Yeah, as we said about, you know, regardless of class, spec, whatever, we just need good players, and the game has reached the point, I think, when pretty much if you are a good player, you can just play whatever, just with like a couple of months to practice with it and get comfortable with it. It's not like everyone knows the mechanics inside out now, and there's no such issue of I can only play this and that's it.
No, I can't ask that question. I've got a really interesting
I'm just
question.
reading Skype chat going on here.
If you ask that question at Dreamhack, I'm going to slap you.
I can't ask that question. That's too bad.
Oh my lord, my IRC is just like is so blowing up right now. What does Method feel has been the best tier of gear since vanilla? I'm gonna assume that like I don't know if he's talking about like in terms of the gear bonuses or benefits, or if he means like the look of the gear or what.
I think look. I think I saw it on Twitch as well. The question, but
in terms of looks for warriors, I'm going to go for the tier 2 Wrath from The original.
Same
Firelands.
hunters. I think tier 2 was the epitome of design for some reason.
It's all gone downhill since then. So, although tier 3, the Dreadnought from Naxxramas original level 60 was really good as well. So tier 2 and tier 3 get my vote.
As a paladin, everyone would expect me to say tier 2, but I just really love tier 6 rather. Tier 2 is a close second, but
Really?
yeah, tier 6 is just I don't know, like there's something with it because I didn't play during vanilla, so it doesn't really. I mean, compared to tier 6, which I actually gained and progressed for, it has a much more sentimental value for me, and that looks better in my opinion.
The bulwark.
Yeah, the shield is obviously.
All commands enough.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'd say tier 6 from Mage as well. It's really cool. You can listen to the radio with the helm. And yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should just wait, to be honest, for that what's it called,
Transmogrification.
Yeah, Transmogrification.
And then everyone is gonna start checking, and we'll have a better idea of what actually looks good. So that question should wait for that and be answered with.
Yeah, what's the deal with that transformation thing? Will that
You can use the skin from any item you
but
have.
if I've deleted that gear from my bank already, I mean,
No.
is that
You
too
need
bad? Or?
to.
Too bad.
You need to too bad. You need to get again,
That's pretty
and
disappointing.
you can have the original tier 3 gear in the new document fair thing they're
Yeah.
going to put.
I think
They're
pretty
probably
much all of
implement-
us already started gathering up some stuff for
Yeah.
that on the patch.
Yep. Old bosses are like, okay, what's up with this? We're
I
getting
don't.
killed so much.
I'm gonna play tier 13 like a boss. Original.
So
I would,
real. Go ahead.
Sorry, Pride, interrupting you. See, I've got one more quick question before we take a break. You were touching on like old tier sets. I mean, what were you guys doing in Vanilla WoW, which we know was always the best era for the game, when you used to get the legendary sets? I mean, did you guys play in big guilds then, or were you just as and when players, so to speak? Have you always been in a big guild together?
Skull has.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. What was the question? I was just distracted by chat.
How did you play in Vanilla? I mean, did Method come together pretty much through Burning Crusade? I think so, when you started making a name for yourselves. I've played myself as well. Have you always played in a big guild, so to speak?
Yeah, we actually started at the very start of World of Warcraft. I think I'm among the only original founding members left, but we have several from. Actually, is there any? Yeah, we've got a couple of players that are left that joined us at the vanilla World of Warcraft. But yeah, we started before Molten Core, so we cleared Molten Core, Nixia, Blackwood Lair, and all that kind of stuff in vanilla. Yeah, it was just about back then getting server number 1, and then it obviously progressed into pushing towards world number 1. So yeah, I've always played personally in a big guild, just trying to get better and better, obviously, and yeah, we're in a great position today.
Nice.
So good things for the future, I
Still
hope.
going strong. How, just following on from that, have you always been GM, and do you enjoy being a GM of a guild? Because I've done it before and I've found sometimes it's really good, but sometimes it's the most frustrating job in the world.
Yeah, sometimes it obviously feels good, but at other times it does feel as if you've got quite a lot of, let's say, work in inverted commas that is obviously something that is not necessarily so fun, but yeah, I guess it's just part and parcel.
Definitely.
It's good to know that, for example, like I was just saying, that I started this guild like roughly 6 years ago and managed to get it to where it is today. So that's obviously something I'm obviously quite happy with. But yeah, there definitely there's definitely upsides and downsides. But overall, it's definitely something I've enjoyed doing. Yeah, it's obviously taken up quite a big part of my life as well. Since yeah, like 25% of my life now is actually being involved with methods. So.
Getting good. I'm glad it's working out for you. I think we're heading into a commercial. Is that right, Pride?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we're gonna get some support here for Nordic Radio. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a little, like a minute or so. Not very long. I do want to let you guys know that you can join us in the Nordisil Radio IRC by going to nordisilradio.com, clicking on the chat button, letting that little Java applet load right there for you. Put your name in and join us in the chat. You have a great chance of getting your question answered if you ask it there. Also, don't forget to like us right here on Twitch TV, so click the little like button up there and all that good stuff. Give us a heart, and we'll be back very shortly. And Facebook
as well. Facebook, come on, Pride. Facebook, man.
Facebook. So there you go. We will be back in just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen.
Pride, we're back on the air with Nordisil Radio and a method.
Oh, good.
We are back.
Yeah, right here on nordisilradio.com and Twitch TV, if I'm correct.
It is looking good. It's been fun, and we've actually been given the go-ahead to go beyond 7 o'clock, which is quite good. I mean, how many people in IRC, how many people on Twitch TV actually want to see us go on for another 30 minutes, if not another hour? Who's actually game for that? Who wants us to go on for more? Who wants to hear more from all the guys on Method? Give us a bit of a shout in IRC or on Twitch now. Questions, Pride. Questions.
Right. I've got some questions here. They're it's like a group of questions that were asked quite a bit here on the Twitch TV chat. That's where I'm getting my questions from. I believe you're getting yours from IRC, right? I'm getting mine from right here in the Twitch TV chat room. What we've got is they more or less want to know what's your favorite tanking class. Like, what do you feel is the best tanking class, and what do you feel is the best healing class?
Paladin. Paladin.
Is that for both? Paladin for both? Paladin's the best healer and tank?
No.
Well, it can't be Paladin the best tank. I mean, I've got to stand up for the warriors out there, so come on, warrior.
Come on. I don't know, Paladin is clearly good. We don't have any druid tanking much, so we don't have good experience with that. Same with Death Knights, but yeah, everyone is saying Death Knights are shit, so I'm gonna believe that. But druids, I get mixed opinions. Some say they're great, better than the shield tanks, and some say they're worse. I don't really know.
I've heard that apparently Roger Brown and Tiago have a different opinion on the best sort of tank in Warcraft.
On the best what?
Guys, the best tank.
Roger.
Turtles. Turtle tank is the best.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, right when we were wiping endlessly on Ragnaros, there's this rare mob right outside the Fireland gate. This turtle that is really cool looking, and yeah, I tamed it. It's pretty fun. I think it's pretty much the best looking turtle in the game, and yeah, I would definitely say it's the best tanking pet.
Turtles. Scott, Trekkie, you've been outdated by a hunter pet. Sorry guys, you can just leave the guild now already.
It's sad that it actually was working a while back ago, that the pets could actually replace a tank. I think they made all immune to taunts now though. But
Hi,
pets could tank a
Voidwalker,
lot.
Southarian, and Iron Council.
But they don't have a taunt anyway, but or do they? I don't know.
Another question. Where did that come in? I don't understand this question. Maybe you guys can help me out. But do the guys in Method prefer Destiny or Combat X? I have no idea what that means.
Destiny was like a level 40 epic weapon or something, no?
What? No. He means the streamer of StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Come on. Actually, I don't know Combat X. Am I a noob for saying this? But yeah, I do like watching Destiny stream. I was actually like checking it every day for some time, but yeah.
But it's bad. Sad.
Yeah. If only he could be like top player. I mean, he's pretty good, but yeah.
Nah, it's not that
But
bad.
that question comes
It's
from
not really-
Kuchan in IRC. And he asked me another question. He's got some really, really, really strange questions, and you guys are going to love this one. Who is the biggest nerd baller in Method? I'm confused. I really am.
Who's the biggest nerd in method
Bowler?
is basically the question, or...
Scott, you said like 25% of your life is method. Is that you?
Yes.
Well admitted.
If you say so, yeah, then that's me, okay.
Anybody else got any... Come on, let it all out. Who's the most hated guildie at the moment? Who's the most hated?
The hated? Oh, wow, okay.
Is
The
there
most hated
is there
guildie, that's a
anybody
bit
who
harsh.
you would dump
We have
from a
to rate
race?
everyone.
There's no hate in method, only love.
Make love, not war.
Make love, not
that's
method.
Mm,
We've got a question as well on Twitch from Zanasis. Do you think that WoW really needs a big graphics update to bring it back up to like modern day MMO standards, especially with things like Guild Wars and Star Wars coming out alongside Rift just around the corner? Do you think that graphics could be improved, or do you really like the cartoony style?
It's Warcraft. I
Yeah,
mean,
they could improve the graphics slightly, but they should never go away from the cartoonish style, because, yeah,
it will feel like it's another game, actually.
yeah,
yeah.
it's not supposed to look like it's real people, really. It's supposed to be a fantasy world, I don't know.
They should do again all the old races like dance and emotes and shit like they did for goblins and worgen, but that's basically it, I think.
Yeah, basically when they were making Worgens and Goblins, they used like, let's say, modern standards of how good they are looking, but they didn't implement these to the old races, so they look kind of bad comparing them. Like the Night Elves, for example, look really outdated. So yeah, they could improve on that.
No.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
Another question coming from Twitch. Pride, do you want to ask that question?
well, I've actually got a couple questions from Twitch, but we'll get to the one that was just posted there. Kilos asks, do you guys think that the raid content in WoW is becoming quite the same? Like, do you think that some of the fights are just using the same mechanics over and over again? Or do you think that Blizzard is still doing a good job at, diversifying the different encounters?
I kind of think that they're doing a pretty good job still to do quite variety. Like fights a bit different, especially Firelands is very good in my opinion for several reasons. But
Totally agree.
There's so many fights prior to the current raid content that every new fight is going to have some element that reminds you of another boss you've done so long a while back ago. But if you go back to vanilla, you didn't have all those 500 bosses before you, so when they introduce the new boss, everything would be new. But it's too much. You can't really do something completely original anymore. It's gonna be really hard.
Like
Yeah,
one
like
of the... Go.
For example, when we reached Mimiron, and you are trying to explain to someone that is new to the guild about the ability, the spin up, don't know how it's called exactly, and you would often say like it's just like the Sithun beam, so you kind of have references from older bosses,
exactly.
abilities, and say, well, that's just like that, only with this small difference. But I must say though, for example, Alice Razor, I feel like they did a great job with like implementing new stuff. It's just that it's just too damn easy. If it was a hard boss, I think it would be an excellent fight.
I think one of the
I've got
coolest thing like they invented lately was in Trial of the Crusader. Yeah, it was a shit instance, we all agree. But the Twin Valkyr encounter was pretty fun. I mean, with the white and black balls and shit, it was pretty much the same as Thaddeus Polarities, but
as
in
long
a
as you
different
didn't
way.
do the door tactic.
Yeah, the door tactic, lol. But yeah, it was pretty new, and still, it was 1 year ago, so they can still do new stuff, and they are doing it, so yeah.
Okay, I've got a few quick fire questions, and I'm going to spread out to everybody around the group. I'm going to start at the top with Scott. Who's the best healer in Method?
If I say one name, I'm going to make so many enemies. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. You need to understand.
Like, that's what I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, wow, are we really going to create guild drama right now?
There's so many great healers in Method coming to mind right now. It's just unbelievable.
All right, here's a fair way to answer the question. I'll help you out here and let you dig yourself out of this hole. In the last raid, who was on top of the healing meters?
That's how you
Honestly,
define a
I
good
have no
healer.
idea.
Probably a druid, because they fucking overpowered.
Probably all.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like who's topping the healing meters, you've got to mention Owld, I guess.
Yeah.
Druids, well,
One of our wrestler druids, Owld.
Alright. Now, you had a series of them, Sien?
I did. I was just looking for who asked that question. It definitely came from Twitch, but the everybody asking questions in Twitch, the chat is moving so fast, so do log on to IRC. We're in hash Nordisol Radio on QuakeNet. PM me or DJ Pridewing, because we can get the questions so much quicker.
I just saw a good question,
so we can get
sorry.
them all answered.
I just saw a good question for Roger Brown on Twitch TV. I'll post to Skype.
I dread to
Why?
think we will ask that soon.
Okay.
I'm going to carry on with my series of questions. This one's going to go to Padme. Who's the biggest loot whore in Method? And this comes from a guy called Sipaku on Twitch. Who's the biggest loot whore in Method, Padme?
Valian, obviously. I'm always whining with him.
Being honest now, isn't it?
I'm always whining about loot with him, and then I'm inspecting and I'm like, okay, no. Now that he has damn good gear
Let's not get
and
into any
legendary
arguments
soon.
Well, that brings up
The
an
next
interesting
quick
question.
fire.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's go on to that one in a moment, right? Let's get through these quick fire questions, one for everybody. This one's going to go to Roger Brown. What was the best, or what has been the best 5-man dungeon you've done to date? And that is from Judge Me on Twitch.
Oh,
Best
Okay.
5-man, you said? No?
just 5, man.
Oh.
Certainly not Dead Mines.
BRD.
Oculus.
Yeah, I must say Oculus actually. Yeah, I think
I don't know.
I did that instance like 1,000 times. I feel like just to try to get that blue Drake, you know, that dropped. Unfortunately, it didn't go so well. Didn't get it, and I even was queuing 1 hour before the release of Cataclysm to get it. But yeah, Oculus. So many days wasted in that instance.
I don't know why people hated it so much in general. It was so easy and fast.
Yeah,
It was really fast. And people were spitting on it. I'd say
Okay,
probably BRD.
next question going to Valiane, the next question. Again, another quick fire one. We know you've been called like the loot whore of Method. So going along that line, this is from Steve the Pirate in Twitch, and he asks, do you prefer pirates or ninjas?
Ninjas.
Wow.
Any reason?
well,
Not a short one I can like draw out in a few seconds.
Such a
I
boring
think-
answer, Valiant, please.
yeah.
Because
Also,
ninjas are cool, man.
Next
They're
one going
fast
to
and shit.
Tiago.
You know, when you're eating that feast that switches you into either a pirate or a ninja. Whenever I get the pirate, I'm like just clicking again, hoping for the ninja. So
Wow.
I guess that
Become a pirate, help global warming.
Oh.
Now the flying spaghetti monster religion. Never mind then.
Next
The head of
question
like
goes
going in this
to
channel.
Tiago. You ready for this one, Tiago? In your opinion, what is the best healing class to take to any hard mode in Firelands? And that comes from Minecraft Streaming, who's also on Twitch.
Well, from the experience we've got during this progress, I'd say Rest of Druid. So yeah.
Rest of the Druid. Nice quick fire question and answer. The final one has got to go to Tricky, because he's the only person who hasn't answered the question yet. And this question comes from, this is actually from IRC, from a guy called Warres. He's joined the IRC channel. I think he's also in the Method channel as well, as
That's
a mod or an admin there. And the question is to you, Tricky. Do you actually realise that you look terrible in your RP gear? Just a straight yes or no answer.
No, I know I look awesome, so it's okay.
That's the end of the amazing quick fire round. Pride, I interrupted you mid-course there. You had a question, mate.
Yes, I did have a question. This is kind of going back into some things that I find interesting, because I like to ask interesting questions, you know what I'm saying? So what we've got here, I want to know if you guys think that the PTR, the public test realm, has made the game less competitive.
It's probably a good thing, because the US guilds get an advantage over the European guilds, because they already need it. I mean, the European guilds. No, but the European guilds really gain very, very little from PTR because of all the lag and all the shit. And yeah, I don't know. I think that the very small amount of testing we do, they should be able to do themselves. To be honest.
I guess if I could choose, I would remove the PTR, but it's basically like 1 hour more on every boss or something. It's even, and now with the dungeon journal, I mean, you just need to read it, try the thing once, you see it, and then it's okay. So PTR just there to check if it
now
works
that
or
you
not.
mentioned it, I'd personally like not remove PTR, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't introduce the dungeon journal.
Well,
Yeah, I would
Well,
do
I-
both.
I don't know. If they would remove PTR, would that mean that we get worse quality when it actually goes live?
Yeah,
then I'd
that's the
prefer
point.
getting having PTR and having the shit lag and all the bug mechanics when it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, as long as it's good when it comes out, that's what really matters anyway. With or without PTR, I don't really care. It's just need to deliver a good product.
Well, if you think about it, though, we tested pretty much on PTR everything except Heroic Rag, and everything except Heroic Rag seemed really quite bug-free, except for Heroic Rag. So I guess it is actually helping a lot.
And
But
that's
you know, they are building a rating testing guild team anyway, so
Probably only have 10 people there anyway, and don't really
Yeah.
care.
so
yeah.
if
So
they manage
Like, slash kill the boss, then encounter works.
So do you guys think that Blizzard has done a better job lately of releasing content with less bugs?
That's which is available for testing has been pretty okay, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when something comes out on the PTR, I mean, a lot of times back during Wrath and all that stuff, they had a lot of fights would come out and they would be really buggy or completely undoable, like that you just wouldn't be able to complete them. Do you think that so far with Cataclysm that when they've released deals on the PTR that they've been more polished?
Yeah.
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 Pretty straightforward answer. Yeah. Just
Yeah, I think
The fights are better. If they've been on PTR, they are better. I mean, compared to the fights that haven't been on PTR, it's exactly the same on Sinestra. It was bugged completely when we were first able to test it, but because it wasn't on the PTR, but every other fight was.
exactly. But then again, you have this thing that you're like, well, don't reveal us everything. Keep at least the last boss, hidden, so we don't just know what's gonna happen beforehand. So yeah, it's a bit of if they test everything, then I think we will have wines as well. Everything is known, blah blah blah, etc.
I'd rather have tested it and it works than getting bugged content when it comes out.
Well, that's one thing that you know I think Blizzard. I've said in the past that I think Blizzard could do is go ahead and put those bosses in there, but because I mean, really, what you're wanting to test is the mechanics and making sure that the mechanics and everything work, right? So put them in there, but don't put them in there with the same HP and difficulty that they would necessarily have to be in those raids and heroic modes and things like that. But make sure that all the mechanics work and that there's no exploitation of those mechanics.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to have the boss in the PTR exactly as it's going to be difficulty-wise in game, so that you can still test out all those mechanics.
We had that during tier 11 actually, because when we're doing the beta, Cataclysm beta, we got some fights on normal mode. They were piss easy, and then we went. They tried some heroic modes, and we got to see some new abilities. And then when the game actually came out, then we started doing normal mode. The heroic mode only abilities were suddenly in normal mode, and they were working. Like the, I know, Alakir didn't have the lightning in normal mode on PTR, I think.
Yeah.
And Nephian didn't have his lightning either on PTR normal mode.
Yeah, it was different. It was like
Yeah.
I don't even remember, but it was totally different. Nephian on the beta.
Yeah, but like on the subject, we saw some mechanics of the fight. They weren't exactly like they were in live, but they made sure the encounters worked. If that was intentional or not, that's a completely other story. But yeah.
All right. Well, then that question, of course, was from Natural S. The next thing I want to ask you guys, and this kind of goes back to the whole competition deal. Like, I'm getting into a little bit of the competition. After this, we'll go to a break. But at what point did you guys realize that this guild was more than just a raiding guild? That you guys were actually competing at the very highest of levels? When did you think that you made that transition to actually become one of the world's top guilds?
It was back in the Burning Crusade during Serpent Shrine Cavern that we managed to get that world second bash, the world first legit bash in inverted commas. It was back then that we realised that, yeah, we definitely had a chance to compete if we were willing to put in the dedication and the time.
I think you're on one of those times, so...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I did, yeah.
Sky's the
Everyone
only
else
one.
on this channel has all been recruited in, like, I don't know, what, the last 2 years?
Watching your videos at that time.
So this might be a little harsh, but I mean, I know you guys are looking at it right now, hoping that we may not ask this question, but we're going to ask this question because here we like to ask the tough ones. How does it feel to be the quote-unquote constant #2 guild in the world?
Oh, that one. Okay.
When are you guys going to step up and become #1?
Well, obviously, it's a little
I'm
bit
rooting for you.
frustrating.
I'm rooting for you. I want
Yeah,
you to be
thanks.
#1. I want you to be #1 because, you know, I don't think it's any secret that I'm an Alliance player, and I'm all for the Alliance.
Well,
You
the
grab
Alliance,
your sword,
yeah.
grab your sword and fight the Horde, right? So when are you guys going to overtake that #1 Horde guild of Paragon?
Well, like I was saying to Sien, Sien was saying earlier that he made a £50 bet with someone from Paragon at the Dreamhack summit. that just
Thanks
passed.
for bringing that up.
So what I'm saying to Sien is that he should offer that Paragon member a double or nothing, because I'm pretty confident in our ability to get that #1 in the next August year. So
Are you
That's my
laying it down?
that's my advice for Sien. Yeah, yeah, I'm laying it down.
Laying it down. All right, Paragon, watch your ass and watch your six, because Method's coming for you. Method is coming for you hard. And that question came from Kuchan. Kuchan. Oh no, that question actually did
Robin
not come
Sweet.
from Kuchan. I'm sorry. Robin Sweet.
Chat.
I'm reading from my notepad deal, and then yeah, Skype and all that. So it happens. It happens. I apologize, Robin Sweet, for that. I didn't mean to call you Kuchan. I'm sorry. The Kuchan question was actually the when did you guys transition into being a world contender? So there you go on that. But the next one, and we actually right now, I was going to ask another one, but we need to go to a quick commercial break. So just before we do that, guys, click that little heart button, click that like button right here on twitch.tv, and we'll do something special if we reach 1,000 today. All right, so if we reach 1,000, we're going to do something special for the viewers and whatnot, right? So The other thing I want to go ahead and remind you guys, if you are, whoa, you just came out of nowhere. I'm sorry. The other thing I want to let you guys know is that
1,000 likes, you're gonna get naked on Twitch TV, Pride, right?
no, that's not what it is. I'm not getting naked on Twitch TV. But if you do want to go ahead and join us in the Nordisil Radio chat room, you can do so by going to nordisilradio.com, clicking on the chat button. A little Java applet's going to load, and you can type in your name and then click enter chat, and you'll be right there with us, talking with all the fans, all the listeners, and all the viewers. So be sure to do that. We are going to go to a quick commercial break, though. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How long break do you guys need? Anyone need to piss, shit, puke? I don't know. Okay. Okay, sorry about this. This is me more for I'm the admin of this little stream, and I fucked up with my mic, so you can hear me talk about random bullshit. But the guys are taking piss and so on, so we will be right back.
Alright guys, we're back right here on twitch.tv, and yeah, we're sitting down with Method, and we're talking about World of Warcraft rating, and yeah, I'm getting really bad echo right now. I don't know if I'm hoping that's not on the stream and that's just in my ear, because it's very distracting.
I think it's gone now.
Is it gone? Yeah, I do. It is gone. So good. We're back. We're back. And yeah, so let's get right back into the questions. But before that, I want to go ahead and plug you guys' your live streaming every Wednesday at 20 game time 20:00 at methodwow.com, and also on www.youtube.com/methodeu. So can you tell us a little bit about that, man? Like, what are you guys doing?
Well, basically every Wednesday at 20:00 game time we start our farm raids, so we'll be doing the Firelands 7-7 heroic clear. And yeah, that'll be available to watch via stream on our homepage.
Alright, on, so that sounds like a lot of fun. You guys, do you guys have like a vent cast deal or what? Like, do you have the vent sounds and everything going on?
There's normally multiple point of views in terms of the streaming, so you'll definitely be able to choose a class that's appropriate to you. And I think I can hear like a helicopter flying over me in the background. That's a bit interesting as well. But
that's alright. This whole time, it's actually like very windy out here. So this whole time, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I've been hearing it like all day, and it's really annoying. But when the wind kind of hits the window in the right way, and you get that like ghostly sound, all day I've been hearing that. It's really annoying, and I hate it. I used to be very afraid of it when I was a child, like when I was a little kid. Like, I'm serious, it scared the shit out of me all the time. I always thought they were like ghosts in the house and whatnot. But let's get back into
nice story there.
Let's get back into the questions here. I think everyone knows that there have been some rumors coming around in the World of Warcraft, and that rumor is Miss Pandaria being the Nexus. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Miss Pandaria and all the information that's kind of come out about it, if you guys have kept up with it at all?
It's not going to be the expansion.
If it's an extension.
It's not going to be an expansion. I really doubt that.
You really don't think it's going to be an expansion? Well, what do you think it's going to be then? What are your thoughts? What do you think
it's going to be? Probably some like game card related or whatever, something WoW related, but not World of Warcraft. Like the trading card game or whatever. I don't know.
I think so as well.
Or
this
some
could be a
books
massive
or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's possible that it could have that as the expansion as well, but we'll see at BlizzCon, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, it's in like a month and a half. We'll know for sure. Blizzard will come out saying what the next expansion will be. So, yeah.
Right
We'll
on. And
probably know it at
i-
BlizzCon anyway.
If
If,
it ends up going though, I do want the pandas to be Alliance side.
yeah, that's what I was to say. If Alliance get pandas, what are Horde going to get?
If this
out of
happens,
curiosity,
it's not
what's your
going to be a
thoughts?
race.
Yeah, it's not going to be a race.
If that happens,
But
But,
yeah.
we're gonna know at BlizzCon for sure. So
right on.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another question here from NSAL. How about the patch 4.3? Specifically, do you guys think that Deathwing came a little bit too early, or do you think that this is the proper time to bring him out?
as Ko said earlier, it depends when it comes out.
Well,
If it's
I assume he's referring to the 3 tiers expansion rather than the 4 tier expansion. But I really don't. I think it's a personally good idea because gear is already starting to scale way too good for us in this tier, and in 2 more tiers, would have our gear would have to be so good that they would have to nerf us with a Sunwell Radiance kind of buff, and that's really only in the game because the developers failed at the first time. So I think it's a 3. It's gonna be good, in my opinion.
I think it's mostly because they have different teams working on expansions and different teams working on the current content, the next Rading instance. So I think perhaps their next expansion team just pretty much is ready to put it out, to put their product out. So yeah, I think it's more about getting their time schedule on, and perhaps start preparing for the even next expansion after this. I don't know. Yeah, it's. I think it's more about getting the thing ready and putting it out there instead of just waiting with it.
Well, earlier we kind of touched on the competitive rating scene, but Judge Me actually wants to know, do you guys do any PvP?
There is currently a rated Battlegrounds team that is mostly method members, but it's not all of the PvE team. Like there are some friends or whatnot in it, and there have been some people who are really interested and are playing like Arena and getting Gladiator titles and whatnot. Don't know. I think. It's not that many people that do it, but certainly we are playing.
So do you do it? So yeah, do you guys do it in any of your free time? Like we kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. What you guys do in your free time? You said you play, StarCraft 2 and League of Legends and Heroes of Newerth and things like that. But do you guys do any casual battlegrounding or PvP in your free time?
Yeah, getting some of the 200 alts we have and stuff like that in Battlegrounds and stuff.
I personally don't. I never liked PvP in WoW.
Yeah, so.
I must admit that I haven't really touched much on PvP recently, but like back during it was vanilla, I managed to get rank 14 on my first Warrior Grand Marshal. So, that was just like a battleground grind for like 6 months. That pretty much satisfied my hunger for any PvP ever in this game. Since then, I haven't really touched it much.
The rank 14 grind used to be insane.
Yeah, it was.
Sien!
I wonder why I sacrificed 6 months.
I have returned.
Sien has returned with us here. Great timing too. Great timing.
For sure, we're gonna get some haters saying, "Lol, PvE is so easy. PvP is the hard stuff."
Yeah, that's the usual shit, and
Yeah.
that discussion is never
okay.
gonna end. It's the same
Doctor-
with the faction change.
Dr. Canada wants to know if there are any Canadians in Method.
What?
What?
No.
Yeah.
Canadians?
No.
Yeah, I'm just relaying the questions here. I'm just relaying the questions. I'm not saying there are.
We're
I
European.
think we've had
We
Canadians.
did
in
have a US player in the guild previously, but he was located in Hungary half the time. It was actually his house that we had our real life guild meeting at in Hungary, Budapest. So he used to be in the guild. Right now, he's just in the guild as a casual member, basically. He's not really raiding with us anymore. But yeah, in terms of US and Canadian players, we don't really use them because of the obvious time difference that you're obviously experiencing this morning, Pride, since obviously it's evening for us right now and morning for you.
Yeah,
But,
it's only 12:20. I mean, you guys are like, man, I'm trying to go to bed, and these dudes are keeping me up answering these stupid questions. I'm like, it's 12:20, man. I got the whole day ahead of me.
Maybe Roger goes to bed at this time, but
What?
I don't know.
But yeah, I would rather, I think, have a brownie than have Canadian.
Brony.
Brony.
I've got a couple of questions, guys.
Yeah, go
This
ahead,
one's from Liliana180. She. This person, to be neutral, has sent me a PM in IRC. If anybody else wants to send me a PM in IRC, send it to Sien, and we'll try and get your question answered. We did touch on this earlier on. Do you guys play any other games besides WoW? And you said that you currently play League of Legends quite a lot. I've not played a lot of League of Legends. And Liliana is actually a girl, she tells me. Explain League of Legends to me. Sell it to
Dota?
me.
it's pretty much I would say a simplified version of Dota. I think Dota's slightly more complex. So League of Legends is basically like a cartoony version of Dota that's been simplified further, but it still is a very good game. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people from Method recently have been playing League of Legends, and like after a couple of raids, we managed to get like a full 5v5 going. So 10 players from Method playing a 5v5 game. So that's always good to kill your fellow raid members.
I also had another question on Twitch. Where is it gone? And this is going to be an interesting one for you guys. What is your played time on your main account? Be honest.
I just now hit 400 days.
I have 235 on the mage, and yeah, like 30-ish on 2 alts, so about 300. Not that much.
Yeah, in total, over the entire account, with my old account, I probably have like 600 or 700 days played.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't know. The thing is, like, I started off as a human warrior, the one that I got my rank 14 on. And that was in vanilla. Then I switched to a Draenei in TBC, and then I switched to a Night Elf at the end of TBC because of the racials. So it's kind of hard for me to know how much time I've actually got in terms of slash played. But I mean, realistically,
1,000?
No, not nowhere near 1,000. I mean, but I think realistically, it's probably around 400 as well. I mean, I remember checking this like a while ago, but I think it is around the same as Roger Brown said, probably about 400 to 500 days played.
No,
That's a lot.
I was just checking mine, and I can't give like an exact number since I re-rolled early Lich King, but on the 2 characters I've played all along, I have like 250 on the Hunter and then 290 on the Mage. So yeah, that's a lot of time.
Nice. Big numbers.
Doesn't sound very healthy, the buzz.
Indeed. You gotta keep
I've got a couple of questions specifically for you, Scott. This one comes from LT Danny again on IRC, and he asks me, who's the best tank in the guild and why? Scott,
Long silence.
who's the best tank in the guild?
The answer's obvious, I just don't want to say it.
Let's not say it, and let's not go there.
It's the turtle pet.
Turtle pet. Again for yourself, Scott. Have you got any plans for Diablo 3?
Yeah, quite a lot of people from Method will just be going over to Diablo to play it casually or hardcore. It depends what the game allows, basically. But I'm sure like almost everyone in Method will be trying Diablo 3 and playing Diablo 3, so yeah. That should be interesting. Sure we'll
Yeah,
get
Euro Auction House.
so on.
Do you think if WoW slips a little bit further, do you reckon you guys would, as a group, relocate to another game and still play as a team? Maybe Diablo in this sense. Would
Yeah,
you
that's
it's
Ask me that question. Okay, well, anyway, I was going to carry on. Someone asked me that question like recently about what happens if World of Warcraft dies, like Titan destroys World of Warcraft and so on, all that kind of questions. The thing is that because we've got like such a close community going in Method, I think that it would just simply be a case that Method would just move on to the next game, and the guild would pretty much stay intact. I mean, so yeah, it's not really a fear that the guild would suddenly collapse if World of Warcraft was to suddenly go down. I think it's just the fact that we'd naturally move on to another game, and most people would decide to keep playing with the players they played with in World of Warcraft for so many years.
Okay. And that
Having
question
said
was
that,
from,
though, Diablo 3, probably not. It's more of a casual thing rather than a guild clan, you know.
And I think the multiplayer
Yes.
thing, it's only 4-player anyway, so...
I think, definitely. I definitely think that Diablo 3 will be played alongside World of Warcraft. I don't think Diablo 3 is really going to impact in regards to how much time we spend on World of Warcraft. It's more like something we're going to spend time on during the farm content of World of Warcraft, so progress tiers. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in Method playing a lot of Diablo 3, so yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Excellent. And that question was from Raxidelic in IRC. One more, I've got another pop-up in IRC from a guy called Esail, and it's a funny old question really, because Paragon didn't use any Shamans in their world first kill, which is the second time they've done it, because I don't think they used any on the last one, did they, where they got the world first? But do you really think Shamans need buffs for enhancement or elemental resto? Do Shamans need buffing?
It was actually really funny. During our Ragnaros progress, we were using our elemental shaman, and well, it was mostly because of our tight roster, but anyways, and suddenly, between our endless days of wiping, one day he was at the bottom of the meters, and then the next day he was stopping them out of nowhere, and it was stealth buffed pretty much in the night. So that was really funny because we didn't know what happened.
Either that, or he just followed Roger Brown's advice and finally keybinded 50% of his abilities.
What about resto? Do you think that needs buffing?
I'm not the healing expert, but I think that on certain fights, like Bestilac, or if Majordomo needed you to survive the cliff, which right now it doesn't, stuff like that, it can work really well. But on a general basis, Shamans are really lacking behind the other classes, so yeah, I think they need the buff. But it's not like you can't use them. And enhancements, because I know you're gonna ask, I have no idea. Like,
on this sort of melee question, Sisteri asks me again on IRC, can Scott play Fury Warrior? Can you play it like a boss?
Yeah, play like a boss. That's exactly what I did on Balerock and Majordomo, actually, on our Firelands first kills. We only used one tank there, and we decided that we were going to use Trekkie because I actually do have gear for Fury, and I played Fury. And I think if you check our Balerock kill, you'll probably see me as like 4th or 5th on the damage meters, which is not too bad. So yeah, I mean...
Did you beat Roger Brown?
Did I beat Roger Brown? I mean, probably yes, I did actually, didn't I? I think it was only Roger that had me. To be fair though, Roger Brown isn't really that hard to beat, so... Yeah.
Right.
Whoa,
right.
whoa.
Ow! All right, guys. Well, I've got an interesting question here. Probably my favorite question of the day. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's from Anonymous, and if WoW had a spectator mode, do you think that we could see World of Warcraft PvE rating in events such as MLG or NASL or any of the other esports there? And do you think that there should be a spectator mode? Like, would you like to have a spectator mode built into World of Warcraft for PvE rating?
I don't know, it's kind of hard because, like you mentioned on the events and stuff, we already have live streaming. I don't really know what spectator mode how that would revolutionize that. Anyway, because we, like I said, we're live streaming on those events anyway.
The coolest spectator mode that you could ever get is if you had like the option to watch like certain guilds and you could see them on like split screens if you wanted to. Like during progress, for example, but obviously that would never happen. But I mean, that's like the coolest. I think that would be the coolest spectator mode you could get. Like you'd have like Paragon Method, a couple of other guilds. You've basically got your screen split into 4, and you can just like tune in whenever you want and see what's going on, I guess. But realistically, that could never happen because of like the progress and the tactics being leaked and so on. But I'm not too sure how you could implement really a spectator mode into World of Warcraft. I mean,
well, I would like it just because, you know, to get better views of what's actually going on. Like, I mean, when you're live streaming, generally speaking, you want all 25 of your players to be doing their best, and sometimes and that means that the camera angles are going to be, you know, from that player's perspective. And if that player needs, and sometimes in certain raids, you need to be watching the ground and things like that to make sure you're not standing in the fire, right? So sometimes the camera angles can be, you know, not the most pleasant choices when you're viewing a live raid. And I think that if people were able to, like, let's say a guild was allowed a spectator slot inside that raid to where they, you know, had CM flying on or something like that, where they could get some of the more interesting viewing angles for those raids. I think that would be something that would really amplify people watching live raids, specifically with like you guys and Paragon and Vodka and things like that, where, you know, a lot of these massive world contending raiding guilds, you know, could have more viewers watching their live streams, watching their progression, and laughing their asses off when you guys get wiped for standing in the fire.
Actually, I will pretty much agree totally on that. WoW is one of the biggest, you know, games in the world. Like, there are so many people playing it, and unfortunately, there is little, you know, pro scene, let's say, in events and stuff like that. So definitely any step in improving that is welcome. And there has been some events in the past where two guilds have been duking it out, you know, who is going to finish first the instance, etc., in live events. It would be quite nice to increase that and start doing that again. So yeah. I think that's a great idea.
I asked this question because I'm a huge advocate for esports in general. Like, I think that esports should be so much bigger than it is in than it is in Europe and America. I mean, obviously you go to the Asias and it's huge there, and I would just love to see, you know, the level of exposure that esports have in the Asian markets be just as viable in the American and European markets. So I asked that question just because, you know, that's something that I think could, you know, help to jumpstart that in these particular markets. What do you guys think? I mean, just we're kind of getting off of WoW there, but what do you guys think about esports? Like, do you think that are you in agreement that there should be a larger market for esports in North America and the European markets?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna speak a bit for France, because I'm quite involved in the esport in France. I try to be as much as I can, and when you look at the Nordic countries like Sweden, Finland, etc., they already are so huge in esports, and in France we're only starting like 1-2 years ago to have it, basically with StarCraft 2, and there is so much to do. And at that time, like, League of Legends is a game, like, maybe you say it's not really competitive. It's not really, but everybody realized that League of Legends has a potential for esports, and sponsors realize that, and that's how you get $5 million in a season 2 tournament. $5 million in esports. We never saw that. So yeah, it's definitely going to be huge, and huger, more and more huge.
It's growing
every year.
as we speak, so
yeah. Just like Pride was saying, to be honest, on the topic before, for the spectator view and stuff like that for WoW, I definitely agree with that. I think that should be introduced. It would be like a great feature to, like, for like a baby step for WoW to introduce itself, maybe in the world of esports, in the PvE scene and such. Because if we take StarCraft 2 as an example, when we have like the games,
the microphone's a bit bad quality
and stuff, like we have the people commenting, or a specific people.
Tiago, you were lagging, my friend. You were hard. I mean, like, you're like robot right now. I mean, you're all, you know, well, you're good now. It sounds like. Go ahead, say something else, and we'll see. Just you know, just the quick, quick brown fox will jump over the lazy dog.
Okay, so.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
Agree with your opinion on the spectator view, and was giving the StarCraft 2 example. that you have people commenting and doing the observing task and stuff. And if you watch StarCraft 2 game, like on a tournament, and from the player's point of view, the camera point of view wouldn't be like the best for the spectators to enjoy it. So I think on the WoW perspective, it would be pretty much the same, and it would definitely benefit WoW to like introduce itself into esports.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean, you know, that could even go to be set up into different camera angles. I mean, like when they're talking about tanking mechanics or something, to have the ability to switch into the tank's point of view, you know, to look at his cooldowns and look, you know, at everything going on his end, and then, you know, you go to a DPS, you go to a healer, and things like that. But being able to have that massive view of everything going on in the raid, you know, from a high vantage point or from the back or something along those lines, I think that, you know, that would definitely, you know, be a step up and an improvement to the market. So I'm glad we're in agreement, Tiago. That's cool. You know, you're my friend now.
Esports, sorry about the microphone.
It's fine, man. It's fine. It happens, and it's just something that happens.
That's basically what you have right now in the PvP. When they were like in MLG, when they were still WoW Arena, like you had the special spectator mode, like the Blizzard Invitational. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah.
You have special spectator mode, and they switch to anyone, but because it's Blizzard. So,
yeah, well, yeah. I'm not a fan of. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of the arena deal. To be honest, I just don't find it that competitive, really.
Yeah, but I mean,
so and I don't know if that's just like a personal opinion or what, but I would prefer, honestly, I think that Rading is more competitive than PvP, and that's a weird thing to say, but that's what I believe. You know, I feel there's a lot better competition and a more could have a bigger following to do, you know, PvE comps instead of PvP comps.
The problem is that PvE isn't all that interesting watching over and over again. I mean, obviously the guilds aren't gonna stream or all that doing progress, and that's when it's really exciting anyway. And then doing farm, it's just the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
In a PvP situation and stuff, that it's never really the same like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be hard. If they can improve it, obviously it's always good, but yeah.
Right on. Well, we need to go ahead. We need to take a quick break here. It's 12:38 America time, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a quick break. But what I want to do before we go on this break, guys, I need you to listen to me, all right? And I'm talking to the listeners and viewers on Twitch TV. Twitch TV, I need you to listen to me, okay? Because we're gonna have a heart-to-heart here, all right? What I need for you guys to do, if you want more interviews like this, if you want to see more live gameplay, if you want to see Heroes of New or StarCraft tournaments, things like that, what I need you to do, I need you to right now, I need you to click on the follow button on twitch.tv. That's what I need you to do, okay? So just take a moment of your time right now, click on that follow button, all right? That's what we need you to do. So if you want more things like this, click on that button and you'll get it. That is my guarantee to the Twitch TV viewers. Click that follow button. We will have more interviews with more guilds. Method may even come back because, you know, Method's my friend now. We've just done that, right? Like, I'm now their friend. So we're cool, and I can ask for special favors, right? That's right, guys? Like, we're cool, right?
Yeah, infinite hug.
E-hugs, what's up?
Hugs.
All right, so there we go with that. Also, guys, we are in IRC. If you want to join us in IRC, go to noargerstillradio.com. Click on the chat button right up there at the top. Java applet's going to load. Type in your name and click connect, and you'll be there right there in the chat with all of us. We're having a great time there. There's tons of people, so come in, join the conversation. All right, also want to go ahead. Scott, give us the information on your websites. We've got methodwow.com, youtube.com/methodwow, and facebook.com//methodeu. So once again, just for the new listeners, explain to us what's going on in those websites.
What's going on those websites? Well, basically on those websites you can follow the Method Guild and basically everything that we're doing and what we have done, and yeah.
And you guys said you said you had some pretty awesome stuff with your live raid viewing, where you've got multiple camera angles, like multiple points of views and points of interest between the tanks, DPS, and healers. Right?
Yeah, pretty much we have basically every raid role and multiple different classes streaming the live 7-7 heroic raids every Wednesday, so definitely check us out for that. And you can catch us on IRC for any questions or queries at just #method at IRC QuakeNet.
Right on, guys. All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back, so stay tuned. All right, guys, we are back right here, interviewing Method on twitch.tv, and we're wrapping it up right now. It's we've got about 16 minutes till the end of the hour. We're gonna wrap things up here. Method, my friends, do you have anything that you want to go ahead and say to the viewers and listeners? What do you guys have coming up in the pipeline? What do you guys want to plug? Go ahead. This is your time to rock and roll.
Yeah, well, as we said, everyone should definitely check our streams. It's really entertaining, I think. We have TeamSpeak going on. You can get a view of what's going on in our raids. You should also check out our YouTube channel, check out Ragnaros Kill. It's, I think, a really good movie that we've made. Also, yeah, check our Facebook, www.facebook.com/methodeu. We always put up there when we're streaming. Follow us and you'll know the latest news of Method. Yeah, and hopefully you will see us in some live events soon if everything that's planned out works well. And look for us to becoming world first in the next year of progress.
Couldn't have said any better.
They have laid down the law. They are saying they are coming for Paragon's #1 spot. Will we see a Method #1 world rating guild? I don't know, but we'll find out shortly. On top of all that, I want to give you guys a thanks, man, for coming on and sitting down with us for a long 3-hour interview. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and speak for Sien and say that he enjoyed it. And
I'm still here.
I know you're still here. I'm just,
it's been a pleasure. I mean, after the first time we spoke, it was awesome, and this time it's just been so much more better. It's always just great to catch up with you guys and have a good chat because you're really good guys, and it's just great overall.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks for the great interview, and thanks to all those that out there were listening and asking us the questions.
So we're going to do the same again next week.
3 hours next week.
Next week we're going for 5. But definitely thanks again, guys. We've been here from NordicSoulRadio.com. If you want to check out any of the World of Warcraft news and podcasts and things like that, head over to NordicSoulRadio.com. We've got weekly podcasts, weekly music shows, all kinds of things going on over there at NordicSoulRadio.com, including tournaments and fan playing games with staff and things like that. You can play with myself, you can play with Sien, and even more far from time to time. So head over to NordicSoulRadio.com. Check out all the awesome stuff that we have over there. Sien, anything you want to go ahead and add before we wrap this up?
If we could get you guys to go to Dreamhack with us the next time we go, would you guys want to come along with us? Would you guys want a live raid? All the pressure. Would you like to show Paragon how it's done properly?
Why not?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Of course.
It shouldn't be.
The challenge is out there. Challenge is out there.
We will
strive for such an opportunity.
You want to see Sko yelling live?
Yes, I do. I want to see that. Should be good. That's all I wanted to ask, and we'll try our hardest, because if we could get that going, that would be brilliant.
Hopefully no Shamans will be kicked due to this time.
I think we should also give Morphar some credit, who's been hosting everything in the background. He's been there silent all the way through this interview, operating everything.
Well, except for
Twitch TV.
Morphar was mostly silent. He did kind of pop on during a commercial break without realizing that he was there, and he started making fun of children and babies and stuff. It was just terrible. It was terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for
thank you for
having
this
us again.
opportunity, and yeah, thanks for the great opportunity.
Yeah, thanks again.
It's been a blast.
Till next time.
Right on. I'm
Sounds
so
like a
ready
plan.
for this.
Awesome.
That's what I've been waiting for the whole time.
Lots
See
of
you at
baguette
Dreamhack.
to you. All the French
See-
people love you.
See, and what time and day does your show air on Nordisil Radio?
My show is every single Saturday from 6 until 9 CEST. And if you think tonight was chaos, go and see the regular show because it's twice as chaotic as this. Anybody else?
If you're awesome at your class, go apply.
I'll be on that next.
Yeah. So now that we're friends, you're gonna let my 72 paladin join, right? Like I'm come raid, right?
Of
I
course we are.
can lay down some consecration or something, you know.
Can you
Yeah,
bring
you can-
feast and flasks?
I'm so down.
what
I'm so
about it?
down.
I think our
Let's end this.
Yeah, I'm bad at endings. I'm bad at saying goodbye, like I always have been. I don't want to stop. Bye
Okay,
bye.
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 Bye. Bye.